Beastie Boys, You Gotta Fight.
Fight for Your Right by Beastie Boys.
Fight for Your Right.
Sure.
That's good enough. I was close. Close.
Yeah.
This is old school right here. But sometimes you gotta go old school. Sometimes you gotta get that feel. You know what I'm saying? This is back like early hip hop. This is Rick Rubin hip hop. Early Russell Simmons found you hip hop. And what we about to talk about today, it just might turn out to be a fight. That's all I'm saying. It might go down the fight route. That's it. That's why I'm putting it out here like this, so everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? We all in sync. It might just end up as a fight for our rights. Let me shut that down before they flag me. Hello, America. Hello, world. Hello, you. It's your new best friend, Cashmere, California, and this is the Pod is Good podcast, episode 21. Pod is good, and all the time. If you know, you know. If you don't, keep listening. You will find out. Welcome, everybody, to the show today. I'm going to get straight to it. We have an incredible show that will transpire today. One of my favorite guys. He was actually in episode 1 of the Pod is Good podcast that lets you know how close and how near and dear this guy is to me as my friend, as my brother. Love him to death, even though we see different. We don't believe on that. We don't even believe this. We're not even on the same page when it comes to battle rap. You know what I'm saying? There's people I think that are just amazing. People he think I just feel like they trash. This is just what we do. But we respect each other. We love each other. And so we can have these kind of conversations to try to hopefully teach each other something. I mean, that's the idea. We don't come to this space just to battle it out and, you know, walk away with whoever's the victor. We come to this like, yo, I need you to look at this a different way. Yo, I need you to understand that they doing this. Yo, I need you to understand. That's how we come, because we're really trying to make each other better. And at the end of the day, that should be the goal for every conversation. Every debate should be trying to not put the other person down, belittle their point, but to hopefully grow and elevate and become better. At the end of the day, if we don't galvanize as a people, they're going to take control of us anyway. All right. Now, with that being said, I would like to introduce my guy. Most of y'all know him if you've been watching the show and tuned in with the Pod is Good movement. My homie, the homie, South Central conservative. What's good, my boy?
How you doing, brother? Back at it.
I'm good. We are here. We tried to do this last week because we had a very important topic that fell upon the United States, if you will, just last week. A historic moment, some call it. I don't know if it's that. I don't know. I'm just saying what they say. I'm not trying to add weight to it. I'm just giving out some of the key points that people might have made in documenting this moment and looking at American history, how such things have not really transpired in our past, right? Sometimes you do got to, give a shout out to the first time something happened. You also got to get a shout out to the last time when the McRib goes away, when they discontinue the Twinkie, right? Right? Sometimes the beginning and the end of a road, you just got to pay homage to. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to talk about the most recent Trump indictments, the United States versus Donald J. Trump. There are 4 main indictments. And as we've done before, and as my guy loves to do, we will not just sit here and battle opinion because we both have plenty. We are going to respect the listeners. And the idea is to divulge as much fact and truth in this conversation as possible to just hopefully lead everyone to a better understanding, whatever that is. We're not trying to make you think one way or the other. At least I'm not. I don't know about South Central. At least I'm not. He knows me. I say it all the time. I'm in a purple state up here. I'm in a purple state. I'm going to leave it there. Y'all know what the color purple is. I'm going to leave it there. Okay? You told Harpo to beat me. All right. So Before we get started, man, how you been, brother?
I've been well. I've been well.
How's your show going?
It's going pretty well. I gained like I'm at 1,400 people right now.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Pushing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Real quick, tell them where they can find you. We'll say it again at the end, but
Yes, sir. All right, so you can find me at South Central Conservative on YouTube, where I talk about politics, talk about gang politics, talk about LA politics. Right. Where we try to put my experiences living in South Central, being what I've been through, and try to mold a better United States, because a lot of people don't, especially on the conservative side, don't know about what we go through. Right? They just say we making excuses. You don't know. It's easy. Just live somewhere else. It's not that easy. It's not. They got easy. They got easy answers for what we go through in the community. So I'm trying to bring light to the community and also hold each other accountable for our own actions, especially in the hood. So.
Yeah, respect that. So everybody go and follow him. Search South Central Conservative on YouTube. Get with him. Whether you agree or not, we all deserve to be supported if we are taking the time out of our busy lives to try to help and better someone else. It's not easy. It's not easy. So I salute you, young sir. And with that being said, let's get into it. First off, have you read these indictments?
I have heard about them, but I've not read them.
Oh, here we go. Another one of them, y'all. Another one of them.
I can tell you why I don't read them.
Okay, we're not getting that's opinion. I'm not getting into your opinions today, brother.
No, it's rooted in fact. It's rooted in fact.
Okay, tell me at the end.
All right.
So first and foremost, let me. I'm not gonna do that. You my guest. You my guest. Please, sir, tell me why you don't read them.
Okay, so the reason why is because it's just another indictment. What about Russiagate? What about all these conspiracies? Then they turn out not to be true. So it's another what about this one? What about that one? What about that one? If we look at the concept of how hard they pushed Russiagate, pushed corruption as far as Trump, and Trump never gets proven. How many times did this happen? Right? I mean, you only can have my ear so many times. Like, okay, well, this is another indictment now. So what's the motive? So when they were pushing Russiagate so much and Trump is a Russia agent and all that, and they couldn't prove it and say, hey, this is nothing burger, nothing happened. What about the apologies? What about telling the people that, hey, we lied to you? We understood that we lied. You're never going to get that. So why would I listen to the same people that's pushing this another narrative? Oh, it's another indictment. He's really fried this time. How many times, guys? How many times are you gonna do this? Until we figure it out. Until we say, all right, you know what? Something's going on here. We might not know what's going on, but it seems like the justice system being weaponized. It seems like it, because we don't get into it. All right, that's enough we're gonna do here. It's gonna be rooted in fact.
All right, I just wanted to let you set your tone. I'm not gonna respond to that, because you know us, we'll go down 45 minutes back and forth with that. So, but I appreciate it. I appreciate that viewpoint, and I don't disagree. I think we need to question everything. I think there are reasons for a lot of stuff that we might just accept, and there's in my opinion, there's space for things to be questioned. And then I believe there are other things that you might want to question them, but some things are what they are, right? Like if we're gonna stop, see, almost did it. All right, let me see if I can bring this up so we can get it going. Ladies and gentlemen, the attempt today is to actually go through and read the entire indictment. We want to do that because no, that's not it. We want to do that because, a lot of times we don't. Sorry, my screen. I don't know what's going on with my screen today. Let me move it over here. It's so weird. Oh, that's Kick. Okay. Oftentimes, we hear about things, but we don't have time to actually stop and read it ourselves. So then you end up just kind of taking everybody else's opinions of it. And depending on what your echo chamber looks like, you might be believing something that you wouldn't believe to be true if you had read it yourself, right? And so our idea is, okay, well, let's actually read it for ourselves and draw your own opinion. And from that, I think at least we'll be at very least better informed by the things that are going on, in the country. Are you able to see that okay, or do I need to
I
zoom
can't
in
really
some?
see it that much.
Okay. I don't want you to say I just pulled up a freak document.
No, not like
Wasn't even the real thing. And I tried to tell everybody, especially the people that's just listening on audio, that yeah, it's up. That's it right there. I'm gonna make up
it's
some
better.
stuff. Wait, hold on. Is that a little better?
Mhm.
Tell me when you can see it well.
I can see it pretty well now.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I got a lot happening over here. I do apologize for the time. We're going to get it together. All right. There we go. All right. And I'm going to actually minimize us just because they don't need to see us. They need to focus on what they need to focus on. And maybe they'll be able to read it a little better that way as well. Okay. All right. So this is, if anybody's listening to audio and just kind of wants to follow along. Sorry, you can't see all of it, huh?
No. Well, I could see the violations and
Right.
half of Donald J. Trump defendant.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry. Bear with me.
Yes, sir.
Bear with me. Yo, 1,400 people are rocking with SouthCentral Conservative. That is incredible. That is really good. I'm happy because it reminds me of us talking about or you talking about you working on it, when we were working together. So to hear it that far along
it's perfect now. Perfect.
That's good now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so back, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna take this out. There we go. I got. Yeah. Just if you can see my screen, bro, I got so much happening. just trying to get this up. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
And my apologies to everybody that I didn't have this completely done the way that I wanted to. It just didn't work out like that. I really tried. I promise. Okay, so there's a Donald J. Trump. And there's you. Okay. And move this there. Right. Like I have one screen that's like microscopic, basically. Okay. All right. Okay, perfect. Now we got it. Okay. Again, my apologies, everyone. All right, SouthCentral, please stop me at any point where you would like to speak or interrupt. By all means, this is a dialogue, not a monologue. And I will attempt to read all of it. So everybody sit back, relax, working. If you know what I mean, you driving. If you need to save this episode for another time where you can listen to it, this is a 45-page indictment. I'm pretty sure some of it is, just signature pages. But we are going to go through it because we don't want anything to be left out or mishandled. Okay. So, once again, for anyone who's listening on just the audio version, I am at justice.gov/storage US_V_Trump_CR_257.pdf. This is the official document that's in the Justice Department. Okay. In the United States District Court for the District of Columbia, this is United States of America versus Donald J. Trump, who is the defendant. Grand jury original violations are count 1, and it gives the penal code. I think that's the penal code. It gives the code for it. So count 1 is conspiracy to defraud the United States. Count 2 is conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. Count 3 is obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. And count 4 is conspiracy against rights. That's a heavy one. Okay, the indictment. The grand jury charges that at all times material to this indictment on or about the dates and at the approximate time stated below. Introduction. Number 1, the defendant, Donald J. Trump, was the 45th president of the United States and a candidate for re-election in 2020. The defendant lost the 2020 presidential election. Number 2, despite having lost, the defendant was determined to remain in power. So for more than 2 months following Election Day on November 3rd, 2020, the defendant spread lies that there had been outcome determinative fraud in the election and that he had actually won.
Okay, so can I stop you there?
Please.
So it says, so for more than 2 months following Election Day on November 3rd, 2020, the defendant spread lies that there had been outcome determinative fraud in the election that he had actually won. So when it says the defendant spread lies, who determines if it's a lie or not?
Well, and I would assume, let me get us back on the screen. My thinking would be, since this is the culmination of all of the grand jury's detective work, and what was I forgot the lead prosecutor. Forgot his name. But I would assume that they're saying that based on the evidence that they found, because most of these charges or indictments or anything of that nature, before it actually sees a jury or finds its way into court, they're all allegations, they're charges based on whatever evidence that they have up until that point. So it's one side's accumulation of evidence has led them to the understanding of this. So for them to say lies, they would have to, in my opinion, be able to show this is why at least we're saying it's a lie.
Right, but they don't have to prove anything until the case is showed in front of the jury. So they could say it's lies, but they have to prove that it's a lie, right?
I agree. Yeah.
But nowadays, right? Because before this grand jury selection, whatever, before they indicted Trump about this, they were already spilling that it's a lie. Oh, it's a lie. He's telling a lie, right? So from a person who actually looked into it, right, and watched the legislators, the citizens complain to the legislators and talk about the evidence that they had about this election fraud, right? How is it a lie when I have evidence showing that, hey, these are everyday Americans who just worked on these panels and say, hey, a lot of fraudulent things happen here that's not supposed to happen, that broke a whole bunch of laws due to COVID. Oh, you can't see this. I'm gonna board up the wall because, hey, everybody's scared of COVID, whatever. But it's supposed to be two sides of each party watching this process. Without that, everything is fraudulent. So in that case, there was votes that were fraudulently passed, because if two parties from it's supposed to be bipartisan, So if two parties could not see what was going on inside this room, and y'all boarded up these rooms saying, "Hey, stand 6 feet away from me," right, using COVID as a weapon, is it fraudulent or not? But see, this is the gap in between understanding. A lot of people didn't watch those complaints against it with the citizens talking to the legislators like, "Hey, this, they broke penal code woo when it comes to votes, right? There's laws put in place so people cannot do fraudulent things, but those laws were broken in the name of COVID-19. Hey, you can't see this because you're not spreading 6 feet away from me. If you get too close to me, that's in violation, right? You need to stay 6 feet away, right? But in the code, it has to be bipartisan. Both parties have to say, okay, it was fair. All right, I'm okay with that. But when you watch the legislative arguments with the citizens, they're saying, hey, something bad happened here. Why did this happen? Oh, you don't get an answer. We don't care. Oh, it's all lies. Everything's lie, right? So I'm telling you this. I'm not telling people what to think. I just hope people that's watching right now, right, go watch the legislative arguments from the citizens, explaining to them what happened. You can make your own assumption of what happened and see if it's right or wrong, right? Might be people complaining. Right. You're at your own discretion. What I'm saying is this. Big media, right, has already painted a narrative that this person is lying. He's a liar. Don't believe him, right? Whatever. They did the same thing when it came to Russiagate. They did the same thing over and over. He's horrible. He's racist. He never denounced the KKK. He did it so many times. Well, we don't care if he did or not. He's racist. He said it's good people on both sides. What did he mean when he said that? Well, he said, hey, it's good people on both sides except these guys who's white supremacists. Oh, well, they didn't show that. So we know that the media is capable of manipulating. We already know this, right? So when they tell you something, right, the media has lied to us several times. We know this already, right? They're capable of lying. They're humans. Get it? Fine. What we need to do as people is say, you lied to us too many times, right? How many times you lied to us and you want us to keep giving you an ear? When they say that, oh, I'm indicting him because he lied about fraudulent votes. He lied about winning the actual voting. He actually lied about winning the presidential election, right? Hillary Clinton did the same thing. They all said that, oh, Trump cheated. Russiagate. This is how Russiagate came apart. Well, he's a Russian spy. This is how it happened. They couldn't prove it. Why is he getting indicted for the same thing that these people have done in the past? And he's demonized for it. What I'm saying is this. If you're going to do that, be fair about it, right? Be fair. If everybody should get indicted then, because Hillary Clinton went as far as spying on his campaign illegally. She wasn't supposed to do it. She went as far as doing that. Obama seconded. Biden knew she was spying on his election. They all knew it, right? Nobody talks about that now. It's like, oh, Russiagate. Oh no, let's slide to the next indictment. That's what we worry about. They're just trying to catch him on something at this point because they're not righting their wrongs. I could see if they were caught up in something and say, you know what, I'm gonna do a public apology. We spied on him for the wrong reason. You're not hearing about that. What you hear about, hey, next indictment. Let's talk about this now. Oh, lied about elections. Oh, try to take over America. No, you guys did the same exact thing, but at least he gave y'all the space to not spy on you guys. He didn't spy on y'all. He didn't illegally do things that you can prove. Right now is this debate. Oh, did Trump lie or not? This is what we talking about. But why aren't we talking about something that's so factual that they had to drop the case and say, yeah, we kind of knew that she was spying on him, but sorry, let's back up. Sorry, guys, but his whole election was Russiagate. His whole election, never let it go. No, he's a Russian spy. Never let it go until now. Oh, okay, let's back up. What about the pre-course? What about apologizing for lying? What about that? You can't get my ear too many times when you lie. You're not.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Can we focus on the indictment?
Yes. Okay. So the indictment thing. So if a liar is calling somebody a liar, why does it matter? That's all I'm saying. It's like I'm.
So let me kind of break into that. So to make that statement valid would mean to say that if I molested a child, I can't then point out to you someone else who molested a child.
No, that's not my point.
You said, how can a liar call somebody else a liar? So
No, I'm saying
just because you have your own wrongs, because I'm not here, Jack Smith, I think that's his name. I'm not here to indict Jack. You saying Jack's a liar? Okay, okay, sure, but that doesn't change to find the truth for the thing that he's talking about. It doesn't say that because a person lies, everything that comes out of their mouth is 100% a lie. Never talk to them again. But that's almost the argument that you're creating by going to the messenger and disregarding the message.
What I'm saying is this: if this is basically solely on he lied, he told the truth, I'm not going to listen to a liar tell me who told the truth or not. That's basically what I'm saying. It's not going. I'm going to do my own research and I'm going to say, hey, let me find out, because I know these people good for lying. So let me see for myself.
So, but with that, you can't though. Like what you're saying, you literally cannot do. And I'm let me prove, because I know you're gonna say I'm wrong about it. The facts that you just said that stand up to you, right? To your personal court are the regular day-to-day people that were around these situations and saw things and came back to report. To you, that holds a great value, right? I could also argue that I've been to places and been around certain people on either side that I feel like if they had a chance to say their candidate won or lost, they would stand in front of anybody and say it because they believe in them that much. So me personally, some regular person saying I saw something, I mean, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Have you ever heard the story of Jared from Subway?
Yeah.
Okay. I just got done watching the documentary about Jared. So to bring it down to a snapshot, by the time the FBI had evidence, had audio tape, had recordings, had images, knowing that somehow Jared was connected to this whole child pornography thing, you know what they did? Nothing. Because they know exactly what you're saying. We can't just have evidence. We have to be able to prove it. They sat and let Jared tour the country, tour the world, continue to be a spokesman for Subway, doing commercials, going to schools, being at Super Bowl. He was still doing all the work, and the FBI just sat back and watched him the whole time. So guess what? If the FBI finally steps out and goes, hey, we've been watching him. Here's our evidence that we have on Jared. Do you think I'm going to believe that more, or the person that was at the school that says, I'm a regular person and I was there when he was around the kids and I didn't see him do anything wrong? Okay, great. That doesn't mean he's an angel 100% of the time. It just means that you saw something. You had an encounter. So what I'm saying is, on the flip side of your everyday person argument, you have no way to talk to the people in his administration, which is what they did. That's been the whole point of this. The whole point is I'm not talking to people I'm talking to people next to him. I'm talking to people that were in the car. I'm talking to the Secret Service. I'm talking to this person. That's the whole point. Now you might say, well, but I don't believe they talk to him or they lie. So they might just, okay, cool. Well, then if that's the case, then yeah, you're right. We can believe nothing. America is upside down along with everything else, because at that point there is no truth in anything. But my biggest concern with every time any of us get involved in these conversations is I remember Hitler, and I remember listening to the speeches of Hitler and reading his own notes that they kept later on once they got him during the war, where he talked specifically about when you're ready to move in on a country, when you're ready to take over, the first thing you take is the media. The first thing you make people not believe in is the media, the newspapers, the news, the radio. You infiltrate that first. That's why he had a whole production team that was their job, to create material. Not all the material wasn't directly at Hitler. Some of the material was directly at the youth. Some of it was directed at Jewish people. Some of it was directed at the rest of the world. Some of it was directed at moms. They find all these ways to zap into the hearts and to distrust. And so every time a conversation finds its way to there's no facts at all, everything is not trustworthy, it feels like, oh, Hitler's not dead. That's what it feels like.
So on that aspect, right? What I mean when people say, when I talk about the everyday citizens talking to legislators, most of this stuff was on camera. You could tell that you can watch the news and see them boarding up the walls boarding up the windows to not let people see through it. That's a violation right there. That's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. I don't know. So what they said is backed by evidence, but nobody took the chance to look at it. Like we're talking just now because maybe you haven't looked at it. What I'm saying is that in order for me to believe something,
you showed me.
Huh?
I said you showed me. It's not that I haven't seen it. You showed me.
Right, but it's plenty of more that I didn't show. But what I'm saying is that most of the evidence is backed by facts. You see that they're boarding up the walls. When you look at the penal codes in that area, where does that make sense? Where could you board, especially when it comes to votes? That's the most sacred thing in America. Your votes, right? They want you to vote. If you boarding up an area saying that, hey, you can't see through here, you're not able to see through here. That's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. So
okay, but so real quick, for a fact, not opinion, not what people have said, not relayed information. I'm saying that because our last conversation was about how the president can do whatever with any documents. He can make a document confidential like that. And when we read it, we both saw that is not true. So
it's the way you interpret it.
No, it's not interpretation. When you see it, I mean, when you say that, are you saying, and I'm asking this very specifically because I do understand that we did have specific safeguards, period, in America. We all recognize that COVID was a different thing. And so a lot of things, whether it be from shipping to medicine to schools, some of our largest, protected bodies, we had to do things slightly different. So my question to you is, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying, is that something that you can show us and verify that there were no changes to how things should have been done and they just violated? There were no memos. There were no orders of, okay, we still have to have an election. We're dealing with COVID, so let's do it this way because we can't just skip voting. We can't, just scrap it just because of this pandemic. We're going to have to figure out a way to do it alongside the pandemic.
Okay, so when it comes to this, it's a very dark situation. Okay, COVID, not my opinion, it was planned, right? World Economic Forum, they even talked about how much it was planned. Okay, those laws were shifted for a reason, right? It wasn't as they manipulated numbers to put fear in people. Fear. Wear the mask. Mask doesn't work. Then it works. Wear 2. Wear 3. Shit. Get a vaccine. We'll get 3 of them. We'll get 4 of them. The thing is this. It was for a reason. You can't just say they changed it because they really care about America. If they cared about America, you couldn't smoke cigarettes. They wouldn't put GMOs in food. They never care. It's all business. What's the reason why they changed these laws? It wasn't in the name of COVID. It was in the name of COVID, but it was to push us. It was to push a certain thing, right? You can't come in these. You can't come in this area because it's not 6 feet. You're not 6 feet away, right? Why is it only when it comes to Republicans? Oh no, you can't be sitting. No, 6 feet. Sorry, you can't come.
What do you mean when it only comes to Republicans?
Look it up. Look it up. These are the only people that
come. Like, hold on, you're Republican? Okay, 6 feet for you. You're Democrat? Come on.
You have to register before you go in there to know that you're bipartisan. If no, how do they know you're bipartisan if you're not? If they don't register, hey, I'm Democrat. I'm
right, but that's what I'm saying. So you register. Everybody's registering, but you're saying as they're coming in, they're like, you over there 6 feet. You're good. Stay close to me.
Well, in a way, yes. You can look it up. I'm not making this up. Like I said, watch the look. But then again, when you talk about the everyday people, you cannot say they don't matter, but media matters. So who is media?
Oh, I'm not saying they don't matter. I was more specifically saying if I'm talking about a legal matter. If I'm talking to
How do people go to jail from witnesses?
But
That's
let's
the
say I'm
legal
talking
matter.
to somebody. Let's say I'm talking to one of my clients, right? Because I've had clients that worked in previous administrations. If they tell me something that they heard in the White House, I'm gonna trust that regular person more so than a regular person that is outside of the room but saw a video or read a thing or whatever. They have great information. They might, it might be spot on. But if I got to pick and I'm talking to a customer that's like showing me pictures of him being with that president, yeah, I'm gonna believe that guy. That's just
Okay,
me.
so think about this. This is how foolish the American people is, and people around the world, right? This is why they say, "Hey, you're not a medical doctor. You can't say that, Dr. Sebi. You're not a medical doctor. Go to federal prison. You can't heal people. You're not a medical doctor. I can't trust you. Who are you?" See, the thing is this:
there is a difference in a medical doctor and
a medical doctor a medical doctor is just a medicine pusher. They get paid by pushing medicines. It's like I work for Pfizer. Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, hey, this person's great. Oh, I'm gonna listen to him because he works for Pfizer. Of course. But the thing is that we need to get out of the corporate mindset and say, hey, we are humans. Our neighbor matters, because when it comes to jail, right? Black people going to jail, you need witnesses. Hey, those witnesses don't matter. Those witnesses don't matter. Who's next to them? No, they matter. They always have. Now, when it comes to this, now we debating if they matter or not. They always have mattered. Let's not go there, because witnesses have always mattered. Even locking people up on a corporate level, you're suing a corporate business. Hey, you got witnesses. Witnesses always matter. So why, when it comes to witnesses now, I don't believe them. It could be that. No, witnesses have always mattered. They have always mattered. So let's listen to what the witnesses say, because they might have. You got 30 people. You got over 1 million people crying about something, waving their hand like, "Hey, look over here." He could be Trump. That's not fair. That's not fair. It's like, how many abolitionists was it when it was slavery?
I agree with that. And but that's why we're here. That's why we're here. And that's why I say I'm in a purple state, because everything you're saying, you could apply it across the board. So the same way you're saying we got 1 million people doing that. Well, you got 1 million people saying something about Trump. The issue is, for some reason, when it gets back to Trump, the heads shake.
Because we listen to it.
It's different. It's different all of a sudden.
No, it's not different.
It's still regular people. There's regular people that feel the same issues about Trump. Why are they not important?
The reason why is because when they said Trump is racist, when they said that Trump said it's no good people it's good people on both sides, they stopped there. When you like I said, when I hear people lie, I'll believe them the first time. So if you don't like a person, I will find any reason not to like him. I will say, yeah, the media said that he's racist, so he said good people on both sides. I looked at him, I watched the whole thing. He said good people on both sides, but not them. Why didn't they put that in there? Why? Like, if I was really a genuine person and I care about people and I don't want nobody to hate somebody, I'm not trying to push a narrative. I'm empty. Why wouldn't I put that in there? What's the reason? But those people that believe that Trump is racist, they always bring that up, but they never watch the whole thing. They don't care about the whole thing.
But people that believe Trump is racist do not hang it on that one thing. I know we talk about that a lot, and I don't disagree that the media does that all the time. They find their sound bites that feed into the message that they're trying to put out. I do not disagree, which is why we're doing this eventually, which is why we're doing this. We are trying to read and know it full out. But I think the issue comes down to somehow pre-selecting your side. And what I mean by that is, if I read this to someone like yourself, you're kind of already in your mind of not trusting it. And then when you tell somebody about the thing that, well, they cut out the rest of what Trump said, but if they don't like Trump, they're already with, oh, you just like Trump. Like, everybody's already they're listening and trying to find a moment to jump in to prove something. And that's just kind of what it sounds like to me. If you in the next episode talk about Biden, let's talk about Biden. Like, I have no problems with that. But to point out, like, he's a Russian spy. Well, there's a name for everybody. You got Sleepy Joe, your guy came up with it. You got Hillary's emails. You got Hunter.
But it's the truth. But
I know. But I'm
Russia's lies.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not you. it's difficult because you stand on a side that says, I have absolute truth. And if your truth is not mine, it's a lie. And if you call my truth, if you find even documentation, if you find evidence, if you find substantial evidence that proves mine might be wrong, then whoever found it on your side, they're a liar. It's like that's a tough thing to deal with in an open dialogue between citizens. It sounds like, okay, there's just my side and then everybody else. When in reality, we should believe, in my opinion, that there is manipulation going on from the government to its people in all forms. In all forms. If you do not believe that Trump and Biden both know how to manipulate, you are greatly confused. If you don't believe that President Bush and President Clinton knew how to manipulate, you are greatly confused, because this is the game. Okay, this is the game. And right now, in my opinion, the further and further people slip into this side is 100% right, and they 100% haven't done anything wrong, and I trust and believe every single thing that they say. I'm telling you, sir, that is going down the Nazi way.
No, but okay, so
here's what it is.
Okay, but that's disingenuous, because we're not saying everything he's saying is right. What I'm saying is that he's been.
You never said anything was wrong.
Because I have when you bring up stuff about him, you're bringing up pending cases, right? Pending cases.
You haven't brought it up. You haven't said, I don't like this, but I will say that this, and that.
I did say that when it comes to the vaccine. I told you that. I told you.
What about the vaccine?
Trump pushed it. I don't like that he did that. And he's still not talking.
Was he wrong? Did he manipulate?
Yeah, he was wrong. He was very wrong.
Was he manipulating?
I think he truly believed what he's saying, but I don't think he. I think he's stupid.
He was being truthful and honest, and he really did care, but you just didn't like what he did. See, no, that's very different than what you say about other people. No, they just lying. They don't care. They just out to get you. See, you see the difference?
No, the difference is this. When it comes to Trump, right? When he talks about the inoculation, he seems like he truly believes what he's saying, because he's not going back on it no matter what. And I'm saying his constituents don't like it. Why do you keep talking about this? When I watch every rally, he's bigging this up like he worked for Pfizer or something. Like, what's up with you, bro? And that's wrong. You said I never critique him. I critiqued him on that. What I'm saying is this. The reason why I don't believe the other side is because they have a certain agenda. They tell you a woman is a man. They tell you a man is a woman. And this is pushed by BlackRock. This is pushed by corporations that they're funded by. If they're funded by a certain corporation that's pushing this agenda, who's anti-God, why would I even want to hear anything they have to say? Because I don't believe in that. And I don't stand for that. I stand for something totally different. If you could lie to me and try to tell my kids that they were born in the wrong body, why, if you support that in any way, why would I even care about what you have to say? You're already in delusion, right? Anybody who steps out and say, hey, man, a boy is a boy, a girl's a girl, you automatically say, oh, he's a bigot. He's this, he's racist, he's that. So if you calling everybody racist that don't agree with you, especially on that side, why would I even want to hear anything? Your judgment is off. It's only so many times you're going to be a dumbass until I just keep believing. Then I'm a dummy. At that point, I'm done. I can't argue with a dummy.
Watch your mouth.
Huh?
Watch your mouth. Don't try to call me a dummy on the low.
No, you're not dumb. What the heck?
Watch your mouth.
I would do you like that. Come on, man. Are you done? I'm playing. Nah.
All right. Let's get back. You know we could do this all day.
Yes,
all right. So, man, where was I at?
These claims.
Yeah, his claims. These claims were false, and the defendant knew that they were false.
Okay.
Quick
Let's
side.
stop there.
Quick
Does that make any sense to you?
We're never gonna get through this.
No, but we have to attack.
You know what? But no, you're right. And I was just about to say, if we need to, just for everybody listening, if we have to break this up into parts, we will. And I do think that that's okay, because it's worth it. We don't want to just gloss through it. I did expect us to, and for this just to be almost like the reading episode that maybe made a couple of points here and there. But I get it. It's a heated topic. I do understand. So for me, when I read the line, this is not an iffy line. They're saying this with full confidence. They say these claims were false, and the defendant knew that they were false. Okay, the same way you just talked about, people not reading, or watching the whole video. So I have, and we will get to it. So that's why I didn't want to talk too much about things that I've heard in the news from other people reading it, but I've heard other excerpts of this read out, and from some of his co-conspirators. These are not regular people that just saw something. From the people that were amongst this moment with him, they're the ones that were saying, yeah, I mean, we knew. However, Trump felt like there was still a chance, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we knew this, and it was relayed to him that we probably should stop. It was relayed to him that it's probably not going to get anywhere. That was told to the president. However, he felt like maybe Mike Pence could blah, blah, blah. He had other people that said, well, but you could try to do this, and maybe that could blah, blah, blah. And so he was open to any option that would keep him in office, even though he understood, yes, I lost. And so then they talked about how, but you see, you have, neither one of us was there, right? Neither one of us has any idea if this statement is true, but you're responding like I was there. Like, I know he didn't say it. Anyway, so then they're saying, looking at the date of when those conversations happened, and then Trump speaking on January 5th, they were saying, okay, so then he went telling the people specifically this, knowing this. So that's why they're saying that. And I'm just saying, I know that from reading the doc, or from having heard the document read and me reading along on screen.
So you saying that people are telling you that he knew that he lost, and he
not people, don't minimize them. Co-conspirators, so people that were a part of it with him. All
right, so a part of it with him. So as you remember, if you can remember this, right?
Uh-huh.
Trump had he dealt with a black lady on her apprentice, right? She said that he called her N-word. She never proved it, but everybody believed it because, hey, she was next to him. She was next to him the whole time. He had to have done it. Where's the video? She said it's on video. Never did it for a whole year. We were trying to hear. She got promo, big money. She won. At the end of the day, what I'm telling you is this. Just because somebody's next to him does not mean that they're loyal. They're going to tell the truth. Humans lie. Humans are pieces of crap when they want to be. Okay? All I'm saying is this. He had co-conspirators when it came to Russiagate. It's the same shit. It's like, dude, y'all keep running into the same. Y'all spend so much time trying to get Trump so bad. It's like y'all don't even understand. Y'all run into the same cycle. Y'all the hamster running on this cycle trying to get to Rome.
See, you're running on a wheel. Hamster. I'm only gonna take so many more names. So many more names.
Hey, no, I'm not calling you a hamster. What I'm saying is that it's creating a hamster wheel of, we gonna get him this time. We got it. Look it up. We got him. He knew that he was lying. He knew that I knew that he knew that he was lying. Bro, how could you prove? Wait, but look, Jay, how can you prove that this person knew that he knew that you know that he was lying? That don't make no. You can't even prove that. You can't even prove that.
Yes, you can, and very easily.
How?
like that's not even tough. That's, I mean, and it's so funny because I'm listening to you, and I'm not even saying that you're wrong. I'm saying you're right. Maybe they all are lying, but it's so funny how to you the easier answer is that everybody's lying instead of one person lying. Somehow for you, the easier solution, or the more obvious reality is not that these 12 or 20 people that they talk to in the administration that all corroborate the same thing, they're factual. It's like, no. It's more reality that all of the, not everybody's loyal. Cool. But no, all of them are not loyal. And Trump is the one that did. That's what's funny. However, but to answer your question, the way that you know that someone can prove if you knew something is if you told them. So if I tell you right now that, yo, on Christmas, I'm taking my wife to Hawaii. And then tomorrow you go live on your show and you go, yeah, I talked to Kashmir, California. He said he ain't ever taken on his wife on a trip again in her life. Okay. For me.
Show me the documents. Show me the documents. Don't just tell me that. That's
but hold on.
Hearsay.
Back to what I'm saying. And you got to remember, we are not in court yet. Okay. We are in the indictment. So if that was all they had is that somebody said this, then you're 100% right. The objection would be hearsay and it would be inadmissible, right? Right?
But okay, when you say that,
hold on, right?
Right. But
right?
when you say that, when you say I only believe in one person because everybody else is wrong, what happened with Russiagate?
That's the difference in you and I.
Bro, that's so messed up. It's like, all right, what about Dr. Sebi? So he wasn't a doctor at first, he got locked up. So how many times we gonna believe the government? Okay, he got out of jail. He beat it. Now, he lying again? He just gonna keep so he beat the feds. There's only a few percentage of people who beat the feds. He beat the feds. You telling me when he get out, he's still a liar? Nah, we gonna run another case. You gonna keep doing it? So when we gonna just keep believing them?
The difference in you and I can hear it, is that, and the reason I'm saying I can hear it is because there are you more consistently bridge the argument of one case with the argument of others, and that there's nothing wrong with that. They do it.
Do you know that people went to jail for that case?
They do it in court all the time. My point is, when I am dealing with a specific moment, I don't look at they accused R. Kelly about this already. You know what? They did the same thing with Michael Jackson, and the FBI released the document saying that they never found anything. They probably just lying on him too. And you know what? They probably doing the same thing with Bill Cosby. I don't do that. I don't try to find something else to tag with it. I have all that history in my understanding, so I'm skeptical of information, which makes me dig as much as I can to try to find as much truth that's available to me. But I don't do that. So if you're telling me that, yo, Trump lied about this, my thought process goes, okay, prove to me in your evidence that Trump lied about that. My mind does not go, hold on, you said that Dr. Sebi did this, and it does. I don't do that. I'm not saying that that's
okay.
Right
So
or wrong. I'm just saying
you basically that's fine. But you said just now, you said that you brought up the case that these people were close to him as cold, whatever. Then you told me, yeah, what if we hear it in court? If that's all they had. So obviously, if that's the case, why are we bringing it up? Because we don't even know if they tell the truth or not.
We're bringing it up because this is the indictment.
Right. So I'm bringing up.
Right. So you stop. But this is the document that we said we were going to read. So that's the only reason why I'm talking about. We didn't say we were going to talk about Russiagate. We didn't talk about that. We're talking about now. If it says something about Russiagate in here, or maybe if it was the same grand jury that handled Russiagate, I would understand the correlation. You are just bringing up other things that turned out not to be factual. That's like me bringing up. I forgot the investigator that all the conservatives were talking about, that this person was on the case and they got all this information, and when they divulge all this information, it's going to be just a big mic drop to the whole world. And then after some years of it, they finally said, oh yeah, well, yeah, he's not really getting anything, so that's probably over. You're right. Nobody made a big deal about that. I didn't hear any conservative like, dang, hold on, I need to rethink things. No, they just swept it under the rug and moved on. So you're right. That's what people do. I don't disagree with you. On both sides, they do that.
But you know that people got locked up for that? Huh? You know that people got locked up for that lie and lost their life because of that? Like, it's like, it don't matter to us because, information goes and flows. You know that people really lost their life because of that?
Because of what?
That lie. And now that it's lie, nobody apologizes.
Because of what? Because of what?
Because of the Russiagate lie.
I'm not talking about Russiagate, though.
You can't do that, though. You can't just say, hey, the same people are involved in this case with that case, but this time they tell the truth. That is like, bro,
but
hamster wheel.
Different. I didn't.
The hamster wheel.
You are defending him. I have not one time said that they're telling the truth or not. You're doing that. You are arguing with the indictment right now. I didn't say, no, they're right. I said, I only know. You said, how can they prove that it was false. I said, well, based on something else that's in here, that's how they are sure. I didn't say about anything that I felt. You are the one talking about what they felt.
Okay, so let me swap it because you said Christian. I mean, you said all these people, right? All these people are saying the same thing, and it's one person you're defending. When it comes to that, why would you not? If those same people locked them up and tried to indict him before, say he's a Russian spy. Basically,
no, it's not the same people. You keep going back to that.
When we talk about the same people,
I'm talking about.
When we talk about the same people, we're talking about the Justice Department, the same Justice Department that's ran by Joe
no,
Biden.
but
that's his Justice Department.
Unless you're saying that people in Trump's cabinet or people in Trump's administration are the Justice Department.
No, what I'm saying is this:
Giuliani is if you're categorizing it that way, then okay, yes. But if you're saying that the grand jury are the people, that's not the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about people around Trump. I'm talking about receptionists. I'm talking about Secret Service agents. I'm talking about people that were around him in those moments, in the hotel, in these places, in the cars while he's having these arguments. I'm talking about those people.
Okay, so when I say that, what I'm trying to explain to you is this: if they went as far as locking people up for a whole lie for 3 years of 4 years of his presidency, you keep saying we're not talking about that. That was very vital until it wasn't, right? Until it wasn't. But you know how many people? I'm telling you this: the same Justice Department who's trying to indict him now, they went as far as telling a lie to lock people up. That's what they did. They lost their security clearances, right? Sergeant Flint, he lost his security clearances. He had to get pardoned from jail because of a freaking lie. Nobody cares. Everybody moves on.
What was his lie?
Sergeant Flint, he was in the Army. He was an Army sergeant.
Oh, Sergeant Flint, not Michael Flint.
No, Sergeant Flint. He was a sergeant. He went to jail because of they said that he lied about Russiagate. He was trying to cover up for the Russian spies. They lied. Why does everybody? This is my problem with people, right? Y'all love talking about slavery or reparations and all this other stuff, and shit that we had nothing to do with. We couldn't even see it. Well, we knew it. We know what we hear about it. But when it comes to stuff that just happened, why are we so easy to push this shit to the side and say, they lied. Okay, no, we can. That's why they lied to us again, because we keep allowing it to happen. Oh, we're not talking about that case. We're talking about this case. That's the same Justice Department, dog. Oh yeah, we're not talking about this vaccine. We're not talking about what's that stuff called when black people got hepatitis. We're not talking about hepatitis. We're talking about COVID-19. They lied to you before.
Basically you're saying that if this same Justice Department attempts to indict Hunter Biden, you're saying you wouldn't trust anything that they brought to the forefront because you don't trust them anymore because they're liars.
Yeah, because the thing is, even if they did get him, I don't trust him because they been knew what he was doing. Just like Epstein, they been knew what he was doing. Why they didn't get him till later? Like knew.
So then, what's the justice that you want? If you don't trust the Justice Department, why even talk about Hunter Biden's laptop? It's not going anywhere because you don't trust the justice system to do anything about it anyway.
Because I have to point out the injustices to get justice. So if nobody cares about it,
right? Huh? But it's all injustice.
I'm not saying it's all in. Well, he should have been in jail for what he did. He should have been in jail. They been knew what he did, but his father is the president, so of course you already know what this guy is.
Okay. So you're saying they already know, right?
Yes.
You're saying it's definitive. Period. Right.
I mean, didn't you hear? Didn't they just say that?
Answer the question. Yeah. Yes.
No. Let's be fair. I got to answer.
Is it definitive? Yes. And then you can respond. Yes or no? Is it definitive? Did he do it?
He did do it.
Okay, so he's guilty. Okay, go ahead.
Of course. So before they said it was conspiracy theory, right? Russia lie. Russia. Did the same thing with Trump, right? Then you find out it's the truth. Did they apologize for lying to you? We all knew. I'm innocent. I got it from the internet. I had the pictures way before it came out and they said it was the truth. The same FBI you talking about? Well, the FBI says this. The same FBI that you talking about, the same Justice Department knew what he was doing the whole time. They lied about it and said it didn't exist. Russiagate. Now that the truth came out, did they apologize to you? Did they say, you know what? I lied. How many times you gonna keep lying, bro? The FBI did the same thing with Russiagate. How many times you gonna lie?
Right. Okay.
There's
So I'll accept that. Cool. So that you're right. They did not apologize. They said a whole lot of Russiagate. They definitely had me suspicious. I didn't understand what was going on. I know that it's easy when you're talking about someone who has a global presence to then talk about something that they did in another country. So cool. Now, you said he's guilty, but he's never been in court.
He's been in court now, but he's been guilty for it. How long this been going on since Trump?
So is he guilty or is he in court?
He's guilty.
Okay. So they've already said he's guilty.
Okay, so when it comes to that,
answer the question.
And I'm gonna answer it this way. When it comes to that, do you think that every guilty person gets, especially their father being a prosecutor, do you think that every person's gonna get
in court? They would say these are talking objections, man. You got to get to. You've been asked the question, sir. You said he was guilty. Don't slide around now. He's guilty,
of course.
All right, but yet he has not been said guilty in a court of law yet. Correct?
He won't.
Okay, but if someone even says words and not even saying that Trump is guilty, people just said, "Oh, he lied about that." What you said was, "Wait. Y'all already saying he's guilty. He ain't been to court for this. They haven't said he's guilty. He's supposed to be innocent till proven guilty. You can't prove that." But with Hunter Biden, he's already guilty. So my question is, here's my question. Because I'm not saying you're wrong or right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying, could it be possible that for you've done enough research to know that before it even goes to court, Hunter Biden is guilty?
Oh, for sure.
And that at the same time, on the same planet, in this same universe, somebody else, your counterpart, okay, the North Central libertarian has done enough research and has enough evidence and already knows that Trump is guilty before he goes into a court of law. Is that possible?
Yeah, because they've been lied to.
There it is.
But
there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
You could prove the Hunter Biden. All right, so look, Jay, with your own. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how. Right, everything without context sounds crazy, right?
Do you believe in a parallel universe?
That's fine. Danny Myers. Look. Now, let's put it in context. When it came to the Hunter Biden's laptop, they said it was a lie. Then they came out and said, it's the truth. We investigating it. Then the Congress, they said, hey, when they had those Congress meetings, show us what's on that laptop. I can't. We still show us on that laptop. You said he did nothing wrong. Show us on that laptop. Show it to everybody. Show it to the world. I mean, you can get it, but you got to wait 2 weeks. Okay, wait 2 weeks. You can get it, but we still investigate. Bro, so you telling me that's not guilty? So fine, right? You ain't got to admit it. You ain't got to admit it. I'm cool with it. But when it comes to Trump, right? He's always guilty until proven innocent. Every situation he's always guilty until proven innocent.
I agree with that. And I do think that's unfair.
It's always going to be unfair.
That is public opinion. The court of a public. Look at Michael Jackson. That's why I bring up these other people, because everybody.
But when I bring up other people, I'm wrong.
No, but no, you're right. You're right. Even though you keep doing it, and so now I'm just trying to.
It makes sense.
Fight fire with fire.
Go ahead.
That's the only reason why I'm in this space now.
It's fair. It's fair.
It's like when you do with anybody else, it's okay. There is something, and I deal with it when I talk to Black people or just Democrats about Obama. Like I can't get them to critique Obama. It's like this wall that's up. It's like this impenetrable wall that it's like, look, don't even if you like somebody, don't think that no person could possibly do wrong. Yeah. And that's how I feel about both sides, because to me, Obama is like on the extreme left. I don't mean he's extreme left, but I mean like the most extreme left people, they love Obama. And then the most extreme right, they love Trump. And so it sounds the same when I talk to both sides, where it's just like, I'm not telling anybody that they're wrong. What I'm saying is it is difficult to have an open dialogue when every time you say something about the other side, they're immediately gasping, shaking it. It's like, okay, that's almost like trying to talk a girl back into liking you, and she's fed up already. It's like, you know what I mean? Like she's like, I'm over you. Like, but I was just about to get these tickets so we could go to that concert. She's like, oh, there you go. It's like there's no point in even having a dialogue. And I'm saying that to me is more of a deterioration of the United States, because even if it were simply for the fact that as a people we remain together, I would listen to everybody and make sure that they knew that their voice was respected, if only for that. Because you don't want too many people to start feeling like, okay, I'm just not going to talk to you, or I'm not going to talk to you. Okay, well,
you're going to get that response. You can't control the way people respond. Like
you can't. But I'm saying there's a detriment to your response. You also have to be conscious of how you're perceived. You know what I mean? Your body language speaks a lot more than your words. And so I'm saying that as everybody, I'm gonna go into that for everybody is a reality. And sometimes when you have a higher calling in a conversation, you have to do your best. Unless you don't have that calling and your calling is purely personal, you just want to, spew your stuff and that's it, then, you do what you do. But if you're going to talk to somebody, you're going to talk to kids, you're going to talk to homeless, you're going to talk to someone who's been beaten, and you have to have a certain level of etiquette and bedside manner to be like, all right, I want to hear you out. And before you talk about how, yeah, I know he's beat me and put me in the hospital 5 times, but I just love him. Instead of me going, oh, you one of them idiots. Like, instead of me responding on my personal response, I got to have some level of understanding to go, okay, let me make sure I show you support, show you understanding. And I'm saying that goes to both sides. I never, ever feel like there's this non-predetermined response to anything against their guy.
All right, so can I speak to this? Okay, so when it comes to Obama people, right? Most of them are tied to the skin color, and he was the first black president, so they're not going to let you talk to him. Most of the stuff that you told me just now, I have refuted due to him being innocent on certain aspects. Most of the time, when I'm talking about Trump, it's like a person being bullied by big tech, being bullied by the government, being bullied by the justice system. So many black people have the same thing done to them. So when I fight for them, why am I wrong?
Stay close to the mic. Okay. You kind of fade out when you back up a little bit.
All right. So when I fight for those type of people who was wronged, how am I a white ring extremist? At the end of the day, Trump is not God. He could be wrong. I'm not saying that, but when a person is wrong, we have to talk about that wrongdoing. Hey, hold up. They did something foul here. If they could do it to him, what do you think they'll do to you? So
I agree. If a person is wrong, we got to talk about it. I agree.
So what am I talking about? What am I doing wrong? I'm not saying Trump is God. I'm just saying that, hey, in these points, these same people have wrongdoing. They have done wrong to this person. At this point, it's like, bro, I heard y'all the first time. I didn't say I didn't give him an ear. What I said was, okay, he could be doing some foul stuff. But y'all lied about that. You get what I'm saying? He could be doing some foul stuff, but y'all lied about that. I got to hold y'all accountable for them lies. I have to.
You have to. I don't disagree.
Because at the end of the day, when it comes to lies, the black community has always been destroyed due to people's lies, especially when it comes to politicians.
I don't disagree with that at all.
And I'm on their head. I'm on their head about everything.
As we all should be. As we all should be.
So when it comes to Trump, it's not that I love Trump so much. It's just that when it comes to that, I have a different feeling about that. You brought drugs to the community. You did this to the community. So guess what? I'm on you. Every little bit of corruption you do, I'm not letting it go. Oh, well, that was past tense. Russiagate was past. I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting it go. I can't. You the same people who came to my community and did that. So what makes you think he's above the law? Look at Kennedy. What happened with that? You telling me the government that's come on, man. We have so much evidence.
Dude, see, the difference is, and hopefully you'll eventually hear it one day, that the difference is when you're talking, I agree with you. I'm with you. I do not take anything for granted when it comes to our government. You want to talk about our neighborhoods, especially out here in LA, how all of a sudden I've heard accounts from it, from regular people up to high ranking people, how all of a sudden there were guns in the neighborhood and nobody can really point to how or where. And then I hear Freeway Ricky giving his interpretation or his experience and what he dealt with working with the CIA and how they were bringing him drugs, and then how, he says the same things about weapons. Now, that makes me look at the government and go, oh, okay, y'all be on some BS. Got it. That don't change that Freeway Ricky still distributed it to the local people, and so now I'm on his head. And then now I'm also on the head of the people that actually gave it down to the mothers that got them strung out. I don't care that you got your own personal story and you needed to get out and you needed to, cool, but you still gotta answer for your crimes. You still gotta answer for your sins. None of this exonerates anybody from me. And so what I'm saying is, when I listen to this, I'm like, okay, I need more, because I want to know where's the pendulum gonna fall. It could be Trump this time, or it could be y'all again. I don't know. But that's the difference in us, is that for me, each time I bring all of the history, and the history says a lot. The history sets the table. But I sit, if the image was of a court of law, I sit all of the history in the audience. It's there, it's present. You can't escape it. You can't get away from it. When you look up at around the courtroom, you got to deal with that. However, the defendant still sits alone with his team. The prosecution sits looking at the defendant. And then I get to be the jury. I get to listen. I don't go because the whole room is full of people for the defendant, then obviously the prosecution's wrong. Or everybody's here for the prosecution. The defendant has to be. I don't do that. But that's what it sounds like happens, where it's like, well, because they did all this other stuff, you can't trust them. Like, no. But because if you're saying that, you I don't know if people realize this, but on the flip side, it's almost like you're saying, well, then they've also never been right. They've also never gotten it right. They've also never told the truth. They've also never brought down someone who actually was doing something corrupt. So unless you're saying that, then the conversation is still open. Because that means that they're just human and they mess up.
What I'm saying is that it's intentional. When you know the backstory of who they're funded by, it's intentional. When it comes to Trump, he's anti-establishment. He's anti-globalist, right? The globalists are the people who fund these companies, right? This is why
honestly, Target. I believe he's anti-establishment for some reason. I don't know.
Well, when he went to
put in his cabinet, I feel like I think you're anti-establishment for people that look like the left, but if the establishment kind of feels more like the right, I feel like he's with it. So I think he's anti-certain establishment. Now he's just 100% anti. He's not Bernie. Like Bernie Sanders is like completely anti, in my opinion, from what I've heard.
That's what you heard. But what I'm saying is this.
That's what I heard about Trump too.
But Trump, when it comes to Trump, right? You can't get rid of everybody in a Republican Party. There's a lot of people that have been there for years, upon years, upon years, upon years. You're not going to get rid of the
people that were there. I'm talking about people he brought in.
Even them, they're part of it too. It's like you can bring on people who going to speak good to you. I'm not saying he's the smartest dude ever. The dude, he could be a dummy. He got some people. I'm like, bro, why the fuck would you do that? He's just dumb. Fine, he's a human. But when it comes to he's a human, he invite people that's not supposed to be there. I honestly truly believe it.
I don't disagree. It's just interesting when you say he's a human. It's like he's a human. He can make that mistake. He's not a human where he would make any of these other mistakes. But yeah, he could have just picked the wrong. He's human. He picked the wrong guy.
Okay, so when it comes to that,
he's human. He didn't want to lose. Like that's a natural thing that people don't want to lose.
No,
but you didn't say he's human by that.
It will make sense if you said that if it wasn't backed by evidence, if it wasn't backed by people that was Democrats and people that didn't vote for anybody. They said I was just there to make sure I was just there because they got paid for it. I was there to do my job. Hey, this happened. It would be a difference if these people, all Trump people, saying, "Hey, look over here." It's people that was Democrats too. Like, hey, this might be some stuff that I ain't never seen it. I work the polls every year. I ain't never seen that happen before. What happened here? Right. All I'm saying is this: When you read the book, you find out information. Read the book, find it
Read the
out.
book. Can
But
we read the book?
that's an indictment. We right. All right.
I mean, this is the book right now. When it comes to this specific charge, this is the book. And so you could either be the person that says, I'm not going to read the indictment of R. Kelly because I loved 12 play. And the last time that they said this happened, the judge threw it out, or it didn't, he never was found guilty. So y'all just doing this again? You could be that person, or you could say, hey, you know what else happens? They bring stuff up about people and people get exonerated and then they never make it back to court again. That's also an option. So sometimes when people find themselves there again and again and again, you know what they say. You reap what you sow. Sometimes things just catch up with people. I'm not saying that's what this is, but I'm saying that is reality.
Okay, so if that's the case,
reality.
So why don't Obama, why don't Clinton get what's coming for them? Because they did a whole bunch of corruption.
I think that they should.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
But I'm not in charge of that. You asking me why don't they? I'm not in charge of that. What I am saying to you, let me not say I'm not in charge of it, because I guess as the people, in so many words, we should always look at it like we're in charge of it. I am saying that if it was out though right now, you would hear the same energy from me talking about Obama. You would not hear anything that not one time would I go, hold on, why are they doing this? And they ain't even finished the thing with Trump. Hold on. Like, you wouldn't hear that. I would be dealing with 100% the United States of America versus Barack Hussein Obama.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
What you would hear from me.
But basically, you saying that in order for wrongdoing, for you to pay attention to wrongdoing, it has to be brung to you in court. Like, okay, so now it's this versus that. What I'm saying is that there's a whole bunch of wrongdoing that happened that nobody has went to court for. Nobody.
I don't disagree with that.
Huh?
I don't disagree with that. And that's I wasn't saying that.
The same people who's trying to indict Trump has let a whole bunch of stuff slide in the back that they don't care about. So what I'm saying is this: if they really cared about getting justice and they don't have an agenda, everybody will be in court right now. It's just not, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Okay. So what's the reason? So my thing is this: what's the reason?
I wish I could tell you. I wish I could. If I had an answer,
I'm gonna tell you. I know the reason.
Okay, well, but you asked me. And so I'm telling you that as far as I go, I feel like, and I felt like this with a lot of things. People know about R. Kelly. I've been in the industry a while. I know about more. Okay, I'm gonna just say it that way. I know a lot more than what's out in the world. Okay, I don't sit around trying to figure out why it's not and why it's this, because I honestly look at it like things will find their way to the light. That's biblical, right?
Yeah, but it takes somebody to push it. What do you mean?
I'm not saying it doesn't. And I'm saying people can only hide in secret for so long. So maybe you or I can't get the indictment going for Obama, or the indictment going for Hillary or Hunter Biden. Maybe we can't do it, but I'm pretty sure. At least my hope. Let me say it this way: my hope is that the things that are affecting the American people, the things that need to be dealt with, will be dealt with. Things never get dealt with when we want them to be dealt with. That's just how it goes.
Especially not gonna get done if you sit back.
What'd you say?
Especially not gonna get done if you sit back and just say it happened.
Yep. For whatever that is referring to. Yes, I agree with you.
But this is why you got a SouthCentral conservative saying, "Hey, these people are funded by these people. These people fund these people, organizations who work in the Justice Department. This is why they become millionaires by the time they get out the office. This is the reason why. It's literally telling, follow the money. Follow the money. Then you'll see why. You'll see why Epstein."
So what we will do is, if you will allow, the next time, or whenever we get done with this journey, because wow.
Hey man, you got to break it down.
Yeah, whenever we get done with this 45-page journey that we are just barely clearing page 1, then I would love for you to. So, because I think you need to hear my energy in a different direction as well. I would love for you to bring forth information that we can validate in a different argument, because that's one thing that's tough about conversations politically nowadays, is like nobody can stay on topic. And I get it. I know why. I'm not saying that it's easy to do, but I'm saying that should be the challenge for people to actually deal with one thing. Because the fact of the matter is we all only have so much time to have these conversations. And if you spend the whole time with 70 bullet points, you just end it with hearing a lot of words. You don't end it with any real movement. You know what I mean? Any real depth of understanding in anything. It's just like, oh yeah, this, oh yeah, that, oh why this, oh yeah, that. And then you just end it like, yeah, this is crazy.
I gave you some answers. I gave you answers. They got to look it up, because it's for every question that you ask is different variations that creates this problem. It's not just a one word problem. Like, oh well, hey, you know, they just lying on Trump. What's the reason why? We got to find out the reason. We can't just say, yeah, they lying on Trump, because then I sound like a dummy. I'm trying to give you a reason, the context. Why?
All right, make sure you keep close to your mic. Your mic seems very directional. So remember that even for your presentations, because the moment you kind of drift off to the side just a little bit, you might drop 40% in volume just like that. So you're still audible, and I'm pretty sure when you're doing your pod or your show, since it's just you, it's probably a lot easier than having a competing voice. But just so you know, your mic is very, very focused. Okay. So where are we at? Man, this one call. I always say Apple has too many things that ring. I can't turn all of them off. Okay, so
Yep.
All right, I hear you. All right, so but the defendant repeatedly and widely disseminated them anyway. To make his knowingly false claims appear legitimate, create an intense national atmosphere of mistrust and anger, and erode public faith in the administration of the election. Number 3, the defendant had a right, like every American, to speak publicly about the election and even to claim falsely that there had been outcome determinative fraud during the election and that he had won. I think that that's very interesting that they put that in there. And to me, for someone who just deals, I'm not even talking politics. I'm not talking about the government. I know you're going to have your own specific response to that, but just dealing with watching court cases. I watch a ton of court cases. I sit and watch trials that last for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I watch them all day long, listening to every witness, listening to other arguments and the judge, the jury instructions, all of it. So to hear that they're specifically trying to make sure that we don't even care that he went and told America. We don't care that he lied to Americans. That's fine. We don't care. So before you sit around and say, oh, well, how do y'all know he lying? How y'all did? We saying, that's fine. He had every right to do so. He can do it all he wants. The defendant had a right. Why? Because he has freedom of speech. So you can say what you want to say. I think that that's huge. And to me, that's like going back to the whole, girlfriend situation. That would be like, you already know you got the evidence. And so, you asking the question like, yeah, so where were you at the other night? Oh, I was with Cheryl. Right. Oh, Cheryl live over in Milpitas? Yeah. Oh, okay. How she been? In your head, you like, I got like my boy just sent me a photo of you in the club in Inglewood, like dancing with some dude. So go ahead, keep telling me. Go ahead. You got the right talk. I asked you a question. Go ahead, talk. And you just letting them talk all you want because I already know. You're like standing from a place of power. That's what this sounds like to me. I'm not saying that it's right, that they do have power, because I don't know what they have. They could come to show the evidence and I'd be sitting here like, wow, that's it? Okay, Trump, you good, bro. You good. They was off again on you, homie. Or I might be like, they kind of sounded like they had something big, because that feels like, oh, we about to drop a bomb. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts on this. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My thoughts on this is basically pushing the narrative. When you say falsely, when you read it, it's basically telling you fraud, falsely accused, false. They're basically pushing the narrative, and for them to also lay the law down, because they know that, you know, Hillary Clinton did the same thing. It was plenty of elections to where people did the same exact thing. So you got to at least say, okay, yeah, it happened before. Okay, we get it. Yeah, it happened before. Mm-hmm. So it's basically like a rebuttal before it even gets there. So I get it. And when it comes to court cases, they do act like they got more evidence than they do. It's always like that.
I've never heard that in court cases. I've heard that with local police, even the FBI, when they are interrogating or questioning suspects. Yes, in those situations, they will act like they have more. I've never seen court documentation that tried to somehow elude to evidence that wasn't there. I've never seen that.
I've seen it. I mean, to give a little backstory, I've been in prison, so I've seen it plenty of times where people, well, they will make you cop out because they make you think that they got so much evidence on you that it's not even worth fighting. Go ahead, get these years. I don't want to even fight with you. Then they push you to trial and they can't show anything. They like, oh, I lost all the evidence. Sorry. So it happens.
Okay, I'll accept that. I will say I do hear you with the narrative, and you might be right. Maybe they are pushing the narrative. I will say, to someone who looks at a lot of legal documents, it doesn't feel out of bounds for normal accusations. You know, accusations are, and for a great purpose, greatly discussed and kind of overly stated. You know, you see that a lot in court documents, and for any case, not just political ones, that things are very much overstated. They're constantly repeated, specifically for the record, so that nothing can be, misunderstood or misguided later on. They treat them like historical documents that need to be spoken, and things need to be severely stated. So when I read it, it doesn't feel like, oh, y'all are overdoing it. To someone who doesn't read a lot of them, it may come across as that. So I do understand you even pointing it out. Not saying that you don't read a lot of legal documents. I'm just saying the fact that it could come across as a narrative. I do respect that. But I'll say, for me, it all feels in play. It all feels in play as to the way that most lawyers and attorneys normally do things. All right, we're gonna move on. He was also entitled to formally challenge the results of the election through lawful and appropriate means, such as by seeking recounts or audits of the popular vote in states, or filing lawsuits challenging ballots and procedures. Indeed, in many cases, the defendant did pursue these methods of contesting the election results. His efforts to change the outcome in any state through recounts, audits, or legal challenges were uniformly unsuccessful. Number 4, shortly after Election Day, the defendant also pursued unlawful means of discounting legitimate votes and subverting the election results. In so doing, the defendant perpetrated 3 criminal conspiracies. Sounds like this is the meat of it. A conspiracy to defraud the United States by using dishonest, fraud, and deceit to impair, obstruct, and defeat the lawful federal government function by which the results of the presidential election are collected, counted, and certified by the federal government. And that shows in violation of, it gives the code. B, a conspiracy to corruptly obstruct and impede the January 6th congressional proceeding at which the collected results of the presidential election are counted and certified. In parentheses, the certification proceeding. And it shows the violation number for that. C, a conspiracy against the right to vote and to have one's vote counted in violation of, and it shows the code for that. Each of these conspiracies, which built on the widespread mistrust the defendant was creating through pervasive and destabilizing lies about election fraud, targeted a bedrock function of the United States federal government. The nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election, in parentheses, the federal government function. Anything?
Yeah, again, pushing the narrative falsely, fraud, lies, lying purpose. Then again, it's pushing the narrative, lies, dishonest, fraud, deceit. So who's the bearer of lies? Who's the bearer of truth? So if it's true to me, how is it a lie? So that's the problem with the government. They always want to tell you what to believe, tell you it's a lie. You say that in documents, it makes sense for them to say, repeat the same thing to prove a point and get it on tape, whatever. Fine, but you can't say that when it comes to the media, because the media does the same thing. Racist, bigot, homophobic. They push the same narratives to make you feel shame and make you disbelieve what you already believe. Even in the court, they do it. It's all about public opinion. Even court cases, public opinion, jury, public opinion. It's not about the truth. It's about, can I tell the story to where you think it's true? Not about the truth.
Can the evidence tell the story?
Yeah, but this indictment doesn't show any evidence. It's just saying that he's lied. He's
right. Because we're not dealing with. I know you kind of keep jumping to the court hearing. You keep jumping to the actual proceedings of this indictment. But yes, right now this is just me saying I know what you did last night. That's it. That's basically all this is saying. I know what you did last night.
They knew what he did last night when it came to Russia too. So I mean,
got it. You're
to
right.
me, it just makes me angry, because it's like people really fall for this, and these people are so dishonest. Why the reason why they keep getting away with this and keep doing this is because we allow it, and we're gonna keep playing. We're gonna keep giving it ears, so they're gonna keep doing it. So when you ready to when you ready to stop being lied to, they'll stop. But they ain't gonna stop, because everybody, it's easy to dislike Trump, so they're gonna keep feeding.
And so with that, you're saying, at least I think what I'm hearing is, basically, no matter what's in this, and no matter the fact that this is only an indictment to be preceded by evidence one day in a court of law, you're saying that already this is 100% false.
And what I'm saying is this: I believe it is false. So when they say it is false and nothing comes of it, just like the other stuff that nothing came of, are y'all going to apologize and say, you know what, maybe the government's lying? Because this happened so many times to where you guys are still, it's like we're in the twilight zone and we going through the same stuff, and the same people say, oh snap, this is going to happen again. We going to get them, guys. Nothing happens. And y'all keep, it's like the hype is still there. Yeah. When are you going to get tired of seeing Tyson fight Sugar Ray Leonard or whoever he fought? When you gonna get tired of seeing the same fight and the same outcome? Tyson keep winning. He keep knockout. Why are you keep watching the same stuff? He fighting the same guy. They keep losing. They keep lying. So why do we keep giving it ear? This is why the government choose not to back down. They choose not to, because you're gonna keep listening. So why not?
I think you could be 100% right, and I would hope that you. I would hope that you at least change your perspective to even give it 1% of a chance. I did. No, I'm not saying before. I'm just saying now. And the reason I'm saying now is, what you're saying is the same thing that happened with a lot of mafia leaders. So there were plenty of people in the mafia that found themselves in court over and over and over. And they continued to get out by technicality, by lack of evidence, by some reason. And so you could say at a certain point, after the 5th time, 6th time, 10th time that they're in court, like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all just trying to paint a narrative that these mafia guys are doing something wrong. Like, clearly they're not. Clearly they're just, handing out turkeys on Thanksgiving and, pet hugging babies, and they're good guys. They're hardworking, they're honest, and they've just made a great living doing what they do. So leave them alone. They've been in court so many times. You guys just keep trying to paint this narrative of them. And if you were that person, you'd be wrong. That just because the person beat the case did not really mean that they were completely innocent. And there was a reason why they kept finding themselves in court again and again and again, until finally they couldn't shake that last one. And so then John Gotti ends up in jail forever. So I'm saying, I do hear you, but it's like you just pointed out the fact that, like, you've been to prison before, right? I didn't put that out there. You did, right? So
no, it's cool.
Right, you put that out there. So you did your time. You had your moment in court. You dealt with lawyers. You dealt with public defenders. You dealt with COs. You dealt with all of that, right? You got out. Did you go back?
No.
Okay. Has anybody, has any law enforcement been back at your door talking about, we know what you did?
Of course not.
Okay, so I get it. It's a completely different scenario. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying there are common people that like a John Gotti, or any of the other ones, Bugsy Siegel, who to people on the outside were just regular people like you and me, that kept looking up and realizing, like, but why they back and forth in court? This is weird. Maybe there were Italians that were like, man, they keep doing our people like this. This is crazy. Like, this United States is, they're not fair. They must have it out for us. They're trying to create a narrative against us. But all the time, the United States was actually right. They knew that they were doing stuff wrong. They knew they were killing people. They knew the money laundering schemes. They knew all of it. They just couldn't finally get them. And so the reason I'm just finishing, I'm gonna let you go because I know you got a lot to say. And I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna let you get your bars off because you let me. I appreciate it. The reason I'm asking for you to at least give it, instead of saying 100% this is wrong, and give it at least, I get that there's been other times. I get you gave it chances other times. Not saying that. I'm saying on this one, just like on the last one for John Gotti, on this one, at least give it a 1% chance to say, well, at least show me this time. I don't believe you. 99% of me right now says that you lying. But I'm going to give you 1% each time just to show me, because I don't believe. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead.
Okay, so when you bring up John Gotti, right? Trump was the president. He was spied on his whole campaign just because of Russiagate. You telling me a person that was spied on by the best government, Mr. President, right? Spied on. We all know he was spied on. You
How do
telling
we know?
They proved it. The Russiagate. You didn't know that his campaign, everything, he was spied on the whole time he was in office? You don't know that?
Okay.
So, all right, look, like I said, everything I'm saying, guys, when you're watching, please look it up. I'm just a regular person from South Central. Look it up.
My bad. I violated. I should have said nothing. My bad.
That's cool. But what I'm saying is this. He was spied on his whole campaign for what they said he did. He has not been in jail yet for anything they said he did. And it was the only president that was spied on by the government. The only government leader, the end all be all, leader in chief, was spied on by the government that he's supposed to run. That's not John Gotti. That's not. We could say that because it's a person. It's a person that's a leader of something. He's a leader of something, right? Boss, right? You spied on by the FBI, CIA. You spied on by the best government companies there is. Three-letter agencies there is. Nothing came of it. Nothing, burger. You telling me that person does not deserve some type of respect? Because I was wrong. You spied on him. Nothing happened. So now what? We're not going to talk about that no more. It's like, okay, fine. Let's just move on. What I'm saying is this. This ain't no mob story. This is somebody's life. This is somebody that if it was a black person, black people would be infuriated from somebody just freaking you going after this person, Martin Luther King. You got him in jail. You keep indicting him. He didn't do nothing wrong. Well, how many times you gonna do it? Okay, fine. First time, I get you. You might want to see if he's doing something on the low, right? But then you got somebody next to him who's spying on him the whole time and ain't nothing happened. When we gonna say, all right, that's enough spying, bro. That's enough fucking with y'all mess with him too much. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Y'all did too much. Oh, but we got something new now. No. I know I was wrong about this. I know I lied, and I did that intentional because I knew they proved that the FBI knew, that Obama knew, that Biden knew, that Hillary Clinton knew that it was all a lie. But the public opinion mattered because there were people that was saying that on the other side that he has to be a Russian spy. He has to be. He has to be. Because look at the court case. Why would he be going to court? Why? There's people that think rational, but they think so rational that they don't believe that the government will lie to you wholeheartedly and don't care. They know that you lying. They know that they know that they lying. They know that you know that they lying. They know that you know that they know that you lying, that they lying. They already know. They don't care. So guess what? As long as they got a James, as long as they got a Democrat, somebody who's liberal, just to hear him out, that's all that matters because they knew they were lying the whole time. But they got people to shift and not change. I don't want to hear nothing else from no right-wing Republican, nothing. They got them to shift. That's all you need. That's how you start a civil war. Because you got two people fighting about something. Like you said before, some people believe that they know the truth. We both believe we know the truth. But it's only one truth. It's only one truth. But they depend on people not to do the research because all they do is turn on that TV, CNN, TV, Fox News, TV. Oh, everything's a lie. No. Don't get your information from them. Get your information from me. When there's information out there, the internet is so broad. They trying to turn it not to be, but it's so broad. You can find the information. You can set it side by side and say, okay, somebody lying. Somebody lying. Okay, it can only be one answer. You don't need the court to say, hey, I'm a judge. He was wrong.
Right.
You got the information right there on your phone. If you really cared about it, research it. Then you'll come to the conclusion that I came to because I used to be a Democrat. I'm not telling people what to think. What I'm saying is this: anybody, Republican, Democratic, anybody trying to tell you what to think, automatically that's a no. No go. Don't tell me what to think.
Absolutely.
Just put the information in my face. Let me decide for myself.
That's a fact. I rock with that. Round. Round. All right. Where we at? What time? Okay. All right. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna do count one, talk about it, and then we'll close for this episode. All right. You good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. That should get us. We just do count one. We should be done in maybe 6 hours.
That's good content, baby.
All right. Count one. Which was the conspiracy to defraud the United States. All right, 5. The allegations contained in paragraphs 1 through 4 of this indictment are realleged and fully incorporated here by reference. Okay. The conspiracy. 6. From on or about November 14th, 2020, through on or about January 20th, 2021, in the District of Columbia and elsewhere, the defendant, Donald J. Trump, did knowingly combine, conspire, confederate, and agree with co-conspirators, known and unknown, to the grand jury to defraud the United States by using dishonest, fraud, and deceit to impair, obstruct, and defeat the lawful federal government function by which the results of the presidential election are collected, counted, and certified by the federal government. Okay. That's a mouthful. And of course, my question is it the way this reads, I don't know why it does it like that. Basically, this part, The defendant, Donald J. how do I keep saying J with like D and J at the same time? The defendant, Donald J. Trump, did knowingly, conspire, confederate, and agree with co-conspirators known and unknown to the grand. Okay. No, that wasn't as big as I thought it was. I thought it was saying that they knowingly agreed with the grand jury, like directly. But it's just saying unknown to the grand jury. Got it. My bad. Okay, that's interesting. But I can see your view of this would probably just highlight dishonest, fraud, conspire, obstruct. This is all just narrative malarkey, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Continuing. Purpose of the conspiracy. 7. The purpose of the conspiracy was to overturn and legitimate results of the 2020 presidential election by using knowingly false claims of election fraud to obstruct the federal government function by which those results are collected, counted, and certified. Sidebar. I do want to say, just like what you said a minute ago, you said, if I think that it's true, how can you tell me that I'm lying, right? Mm-hmm. Something to that effect, correct? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that because I'm in a purple state, there's a part of my mind that says, can both arguments be true at the same time? So, could it be true that there was actually voter fraud and that all the videos that you saw were illegal and complete violations of the procedure? And at the same time, because this is all about timing, because when you saw those videos and when him and his co-conspirators knew what they knew, I don't know the timeline of those two things. So could that be true? But on the other side of the table, it's also true that the information that Donald J. Trump and his co-conspirators had were that, the count actually is legitimate and we know it, but we just don't want to admit it. Let's try to figure out another way. In my world, in my purple world, I believe that to be a possibility because there's nothing saying that everything that you know is everything I know. And everything that we both know is the president knows all of it. And everything the president knows, the FBI knows. That's never been the case. There's always a potential that information has not made it to somebody. Perfect example, the World Trade Center. We are people in New York and the fire departments and people in that area back in 2011, they all knew that the World Trade Center had been attacked. But you have footage of President Bush at an elementary school getting told sometime later in the same day. So it doesn't mean that if in that moment, if he had just told, let's just say he was at some other place that people are actually going to understand, a high school, and said, America has never and will never be attacked by a foreign aggressor. If you happen to see those two things and try to create a conspiracy like he tried to cover it up, it's like, well, maybe he just didn't know yet. So I'm saying, to me, there's a possibility. I'm not saying this is what happened for anybody listening. I'm just saying my brain says there's nothing definitive that says that both of those things could not be a reality.
No, you waiting for me?
I gotta give my guest space. You know what I'm saying? I want to give you some room.
No,
if you have something to say. If you don't, I'm not forcing you.
Okay, no.
My thoughts.
I got something. So I do believe that they truly know that they did do some faulty things with the count and certifying it and things like that. I do believe that. I did see, especially in the heat of things, the litigation, the people, the community coming out saying what they seen and what they have experienced, especially doing this voter stuff for so long, and the differences and the corruption that happened during the voting and stuff like that. I do honestly wholeheartedly believe that they did this on purpose, right? They know that voting is not people's forte. People don't really know about voting like that, and I don't think people are gonna really pay attention to stuff like that, especially when it comes to the media shaming somebody, right? It's like, even if it was like, so what? He wrong. Like, even if it did happen, so what? Like, Trump needed to be out of office. So at the time, people didn't want to hear about it anyways. It's like, oh, if he especially when it came to them asking him, so if you lose, would you concede? Well, if I lost fairly, I will. Oh, so basically, if he lost, he's never gonna give up. So imagine having all that grouped up until, you know what I'm saying? Because now, especially now, right? Fast forward, people are open to hearing debates like this. Before, you couldn't say certain stuff, you couldn't talk about certain things. People didn't want to hear it. They hated Trump. All right. At that time, when he's complaining about voter fraud, people don't want to hear about that. Like, bro, you're a racist. Shut up. Like, so if it was, who cares? I'm not gonna look it up. So what? You lost. Shut up. Give up. Right? That's how people think. Some people are that cold. You feel what I'm saying? Some people that got dang cold. They wouldn't care. Also, if it was a lie, right? If people are lying, right, and they just making some stuff up just because they want to stick up for Trump, why did they censor people? Why did they censor that type of evidence on YouTube to where people doing it live? They doing the litigation live, showing people complaining, showing, hey, this is what I came up with. Let me show you pictures. Does this look normal to you? Why did people have to get outsourced for that? Why do they have to find out a streaming site to where they're not going to be censored? Why? If they're lying so much, shouldn't the American people be able to see, okay, maybe they are lying? Some people didn't even get that choice because by the time they looked it up, that stuff was banned. You can't even say voter fraud on YouTube. You can't say nothing about nothing on YouTube. They made it that way for a reason. So if they did that, explain to me, and you believe in God, right? We all believe in God. You believe in God here. If we believe in God, we understand that nothing is coincidence. Nothing just happened out of thin air. It just happened. Oh, they boarded up these windows just because, COVID. It's going to get through the walls. 6 feet, right? They censor these people because they're lying. They don't want them to hear. That's disinformation, misinformation. So who determines if it's disinformation and misinformation? Who determines that? So if I'm a big business and I don't like these people, and it's at my discretion. It's a lie to me. So nobody's gonna be able to hear it. I don't want that spilled on my platform. So when it comes to that, why did they do it? I thought it's supposed to be free and fair, especially when it comes to debate. What they did was monopolize the information. It's that simple. Now they got me talking like I'm a crazy wick. I seen this, I seen that. How are you gonna reference it if it wasn't available to you? You get what I'm saying? Then it's like I'm talking to y'all like y'all dumb or something. Like, oh, well, you think I'm dumb? You think I know y'all probably, if you really cared about it, y'all was gonna look it up. But what if the information not available to you? What if they got all these people on Rumble because they took their channels away? Like, nah, you talking too much. Go to Rumble. I don't know what Rumble is. Like, what the fuck is Rumble? I just heard about that. This information is this information is 6 years ago. Why would I go back? Who cares at this point? I live my life. Nobody's the president. Shut up. That's how it is. That's how I feel. It's like, damn, all the stuff that we seen, we're not talking about that no more. It just was what it was. But when you see stuff like that, you understand Trump on a different level because that's how black people is. When you lose, when you get cheated by these referees in a game, no. What you mean? Somebody gonna squabble because you cheated me off this game. You cheated me off this game. It's your fault.
Right.
Any man will feel like that understands the game of being in sports, being in any situation to where you got to compete. You don't like nothing being taken away from you, especially if you don't deserve that. Like, bro, I work hard for this. Why are you trying to take it away from me? But it's hard to hear fellow Americans who don't really care too much about politics have so much opinion about something that we've seen with our own eyes. I've seen it with my own eyes, so the government can't tell me what I didn't see. You cannot tell me I didn't see that. That's because the whole time when it comes to inoculations, hepatitis. We seen that, but so what? Black people screaming like, hey, they did something wrong over here. They did something wrong. Shut up. Who cares? Be quiet. You took it or what? What's going on? What are we talking about now? Yeah, we lied. It's okay. Okay. What I'm saying is this. As American people, it's not about left and right. Okay. I'm conservative. I didn't say I'm a Republican. I'm conservative because I want to conserve our values, especially when it comes to Christianity in this country, when it comes to kids being kids, when it comes to a man being a man and a woman being a woman, when it comes to free and fair debate. I'm conservative when it comes to that. Okay. I'm not Republican. I don't match with every Republican. Oh, if he deal with Trump, I like him. I don't care. When you talk about Tucker Carlson, remember I told you I don't give a crap what Tucker Carlson say? He Republican. He's concerned. Who gives a crap? I don't care what he say. Are you lying or not? Are you lying or not? I don't have a base. I don't care. But what I'm saying is this. When it comes to this information, to bring them to a whole, when it comes to voter fraud and all this other stuff, this information was put out 6 years ago. This is the fight we still fighting. There's a lot of people that don't know this information because it was censored. So it's very unfair for me to come out and say, hey, man, do this. No, you guys are wrong. We fighting and fight, and it makes it seem like I'm sticking up for Trump because like I love him, because I like him, and I think he Tupac. No, what I'm saying is this. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not the wholehearted truth. A little bit is I like him, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not biased. Right.
That's who that's supposed to be.
That's real Tupac.
Don't he like a Hispanic Pac?
Facts. I ain't gonna lie.
when he arrived, I was like, this is Tupaco. This ain't Tupac. This is Tupaco right here.
Yeah, to send him back to the shop, man.
Yeah, right. Anybody listening, you'd have to watch the live version on YouTube, and you'll see my Tupaco.
Now to bring it home, I just pray and hope that people understand other Americans. Okay, you might not deem it newsworthy or care for you put much effort into it, but when it come down to slavery, a lot of people didn't have nothing to do with slavery, but they stuck up for it. Like, hey, that's wrong. I might not have nothing to do with it. I might not care too much about it because it don't affect me, but it's wrong. Okay, this is how I feel about seeing anybody get done wrong. It's wrong. Like they doing to Robert F. Kennedy. They doing the same thing, censoring him, shutting him up. He can't talk. He's a Democrat. It's wrong.
But he literally can't talk. He like literally.
But hey, when he talk, it's very impactful. When he talk, it's very impactful.
I'm playing around, but yeah, shout out to him because
right.
He's very, very impactful, very passionate. And you can tell he has a good heart and good direction that he's trying to, lead the country if he can, make it there. So I don't disagree with that.
Right, but censorship is not the way. I think that people should speak up about that, even if you disagree with the person that is trying to speak. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot out of a person to stick up for some people that don't like. If it's wrongdoing, speak up for it because it could get done to you, man.
I'm with it. I've always kind of been on the fence with censorship because censorship is it's a bigger word than people give credit for, and so it's one thing to censor someone in the Klan who wants to say certain things about Black people on Twitter, but it's another thing to censor partial nudity for people under a certain age. Both are censorship. And what's hard is most people say it in either no censorship or censorship. And it's like, there really is a sliding scale. And there's some that's clear to everyone. But the hard part is the moment that something has a gray area, which censorship does, the moment that it has a gray area, that's when you're going to have debate and confusion. Because if I say BET Uncut should only be allowed for a certain age, pretty much any parent or adult under the sun is going to say, yeah, that makes sense. But if I say that, someone having anti-Semitic views, that creates an environment of hate on a platform, I think that should be censored. you're gonna have a difference of opinion, because some people are gonna be like, yeah, like people go to this for enjoyment and for this and for that. I don't want to see other people being bashed because of their race or their color or ethnicity. Like, that's prejudice. I don't want to encounter prejudicial or racist content in this particular venue, where someone else might say, yeah, but this venue allows for open speech, and so if that is their open speech, you got to allow it. So it turns into this gray area. And to me, again, I know it probably sounds redundant, being in a purple state, it's like, I see both sides. I personally, know that obviously kids are getting devices at younger and younger ages. They're getting access to apps, and they get to talk to the world at a younger age than ever before in human history. I have 3 children. Do I hope that there's some level of censorship by these applications that I don't have to also do as a parent, to know that they're not going to find themselves into these weird rooms? The next thing I know, my daughter doesn't realize she's being catfished by some 41-year-old man, and she's 16 at the time. Like, yeah, I'm going to hope that there's some level of security in play that prevents that outside of my own monitoring as a parent. Like, yes, you're going to do your job as a parent, but you also want to feel like the companies that you trust, no matter if it's a burger from McDonald's, that they're doing the right thing at the same time. And so in that respect, like, I believe in censorship. But when I see how many people left YouTube and, you start to squash voices underground, I do feel like, well, there has to be a repercussion to that isn't so great. And that doesn't feel very American as well, to make people feel like, well, I have to have the same feelings or sentiments or thoughts as the mainstream for my speech to be free. And so if I think contrary to you, then now it's hate speech, or now it's whatever. And so it's okay to censor me and take away my freedom of speech. So that's a very complex space to me.
Okay. So what I believe is, right, what you said was correct, right? When it comes to being, you don't want your kids to see certain things, but when it comes to parenting, that kind of separates that. But you can't parent that all the time, which I understand. But when it comes to debating anti-Semite, when it comes to the anti-Semite, whatever talking, right, or anti-black person, or any race, okay, free speech is supposed to combat that, okay? And eventually you let a dummy speak. Then he's like, okay, that's an extreme guy. We get it now. Okay, he's extreme, right? As opposed to shutting him down, you amplify him because it felt like his voice is not being heard. So now I'm like, okay, why they shut him up? Now I got more belief. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's anti now, right? Anti stuff, they anti. So I want to be like that. I want to be a hated guy. That's better for me, right? But when you let people hear them,
right there. Huh? That's hip hop right there.
There you go. And when you let people hear him, her, whatever, you get to better assess their message. What are they trying to do here? Okay, I'm not getting part of it. I'm getting all of it. Okay, I'm hearing what their message. I don't agree with that. That person's racist. Fine, I can shut him off. I want to hear nothing he has to say. Whoever deal with him, done. Okay, as opposed to this shutting them up completely. Right now, when it comes to nudity, that's illegal already. You're not supposed to be doing that. That person's supposed to go to jail for even doing that. Okay? Nudity is not supposed to be exposed to children. We all know this. It's laws for that. Now, when it comes to that, I don't even think that's censorship. It's laws. You cannot do that. You can't. Now, if you do it, there's consequences. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a big difference. When it comes to speech and when it comes to nudity, we talking 2 different things here. Certain we're not talking about, hey, I should be able to say whatever the hell I want to say. We're not talking about the consequences that come after that. We just talking about he should be able to say what he wants to say. Is that, you know what I'm saying? Is that serious? Now, if he go on the streets and we've been talking about these certain people, if he get his butt kicked, okay, look, you was talking a little bit too much. You was doing a little bit too much, so we, you know what I'm saying, you got what's coming to you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And right. Like you said, justice gonna eventually come to where it needs to be. If you talking like that, you're gonna get what's coming to you. Yeah. Now nudity, that's out. We all know that. That's out. You know what I'm saying? They trying to push it, but that's out. Okay, that's out.
All right. Well, let's move on. Because I just looked at how many pages count one is. Yeah, we're not gonna make it through count one, but that's all good. That's all good. We ain't going nowhere. God bless, and we'll be back for part 2 very soon. All right, so my bad. Let me get the screen back up. There we go. Okay, so we looked at number 7, the purpose of conspiracy. Let's go to 8, the defendant's co-conspirators. I'm gonna say we'll read this, and then we'll wrap it up. So the defendant's co-conspirators. The defendant enlisted co-conspirators to assist him in his criminal efforts to overturn the legitimate results of the 2020 presidential election and retain power. Now, before we go forward, I'm going to actually agree with you on this one. That felt unnecessary. Like, criminal efforts felt unnecessary. I will say that. So far, everything else has felt very, very even keel. But assist him in his criminal efforts, I kind of felt like, okay, all right, bro. All right. You already say he's the defendant, so I mean, clearly you're saying he's criminal. I got it. All right. Among these were A, co-conspirator number 1, an attorney who was willing to spread knowingly false claims and pursue strategies that the defendant's 2020 re-election campaign attorneys would not. Interesting. So there was an attorney that, opposite of the rest of the 2020 re-election campaign attorneys, opposite of all of them, there's one attorney that said, oh yeah, I do that. I do that. Okay. B, co-conspirator number 2, an attorney who devised and attempted to implement a strategy to leverage the vice president's ceremonial role overseeing the certification proceeding to obstruct the certification of the presidential election. C, conspirator number 3, an attorney whose unfounded claims of election fraud an attorney whose unfounded claims of election fraud the defendant privately acknowledged to others sounded crazy. Nonetheless, the defendant embraced and publicly amplified co-conspirator number 3's disinformation. Okay. D, that one got a little muddy in the woods for a second. D, co-conspirator number 4, a Justice Department official who worked on civil matters and who, with the defendant, attempted to use the Justice Department to open sham election crime investigations and influence state legislatures with knowingly false claims of election fraud. I'll be honest, to me that's a pretty lethal one, in my opinion. I know not to you. I can almost read them now and hear what you might be feeling. You're obviously free to say what you feel, but that does sound interesting because I know you're saying the Justice Department, you don't trust none of them anyway, but a Justice Department official who is working with the defendant. So that's saying that the defendant, Donald J. Trump, in some capacity trusted this person. And so if they're saying that they attempted to use the Justice Department to open sham election crime investigations, I'm going to keep it real. I don't necessarily know if it's true or false, but me just knowing how gangster Trump is, that don't sound out of character. Like, I'm just, at a certain point, you just start knowing people. You're like, all right, look. They said Diddy was with the baby, and I don't know. They say his pictures floating around that Diddy kissed the baby on the cheek. It's like, all right, I ain't seen it, but I done heard enough stuff about him And that's kind of down his lane. So I'm not gonna convict him, but I'm gonna say I'm probably leaning towards that sound like some real stuff. Now, if you would have said, Diddy, made a special dessert and took it to President Trump or Mike Pence, I'd be like, that's weird. That doesn't sound, you see what I'm saying? Like that doesn't line up. But to be as gangster as we know Trump to be, and he is the most gangster in all the conversations that we're having, in my opinion, working with somebody and being like, yo, just open up a whole investigation. Like, and now I can go in front of everybody and say, we are opening up investigations with the Justice Department because we know this. Hey, that sounds gangster to me. I do it. I said it on air. I do it. All right. E. Co-conspirator number 5. An attorney who assisted in devising and attempting to implement a plan to submit fraudulent slates of presidential electors to obstruct the certification proceeding. And F. Co-conspirator number 6, a political consultant who helped implement a plan to submit fraudulent slates of presidential electors to obstruct the certification proceeding. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end it there, but we are going to discuss what we just read. I kind of had my piece, so I'm going to let my guest, the South Central conservative, tell everyone kind of what he got from listening to not really exactly what the co-conspirators had to say, but the breakdown in the indictment of what they gathered from these co-conspirators, all working alongside Trump, either as attorneys, working in the Justice Department, or a political consultant, and in various ways making their attempts to move forward with what they felt to be the proper way of doing things in that moment.
All right. So for number 6, I think that nobody wanted to take the case, right? Nobody wanted to open up the case. Nobody wanted to open up an investigation for Trump because everybody like, there's no reason to, right? So him convincing him to do his job because some legal people didn't want to do it. So him convincing him to open up an investigation, how's that wrong? He's convincing him to open up an investigation. I'm not.
I'm talking about number 4.
Number 4, number 6.
Number 6 was a political consultant who helped implement a plan to submit fraudulent slates of presidential electors to obstruct the certification proceeding. The one you're talking about, I believe, is co-conspirator number 4, a Justice Department official who worked on civil matters and who, with the defendant, attempted to use the Justice Department to open sham election crime investigations and influence state legislatures with knowingly false claims of election fraud.
See, all that stuff right there is subjective as far as he knowingly tried to make him open an investigation because to a fraud conspiracy. He has a right to open up an investigation, even if he thinks it's fraud or not. He has a right to.
I don't know if that's true.
So he don't have a right to say, hey, there was fraud there. Can I open an investigation?
Well, not along with what you just said. Unless you were saying whether it was right or not. I mean, whether it was real or not, and he just didn't know, but he wanted to open an investigation to find out. But the way you said it sounded like he can open up a fraudulent investigation, even though he knows it's fraudulent, but he can just open up an investigation anyway.
But that's
what you're
I'm
saying?
not saying that. What I'm saying is this: as a president, if I want to question an election, I have the right to open up an investigation. Now, to say that he knew it was fraudulent, that's subjective. Y'all, they keep pushing that on people's head and saying he knew it was false. He knew it was fake. Why did he open up an investigation? He knew. That's so subjective because he could say today, no, I really truly believe that this election was stolen. I truly believe that. How could you tell me what I truly don't believe? All this is speculation. All them saying that they're painting the narrative that Trump knew automatically what he was trying to do. He He started January 6th, told people to be violent, which they lied about, and said, hey, I know that I'm not going to be president. Let me start up a whole bunch of so they don't get into office. I'm going to cause as much mayhem as I can, as opposed to saying, hey, I want an investigation. I want a forensic audit of these votes to make sure that they're legitimate. This whole thing is basically that's why they got to keep pushing it. Fraudulent. He knew fraudulent, fraud. He knew it was all lies. He knew it lies. But again, it's subjective. Who is telling me that this is a lie? Who? I want to know who's telling me that this is a lie. Who's telling me that Trump knew that this was a lie? How could you tell Trump what he knew? Because he's still having rallies right now saying they lied, voter fraud. So you telling me some way in his mind, of all minds, that it's all. I knew I lost. He's still not saying that.
So is it, if that's subjective, which I will agree with you, is it also, well, hold on. I will agree with you that it's subjective on the grounds until we find out evidence, because if they can show or play or prove actual evidence that various departments or people or heads of departments had told him that that these things are fraudulent. They've already told him, the president, we shouldn't do this because of, like, he'd already been advised a certain way, and they can prove that he said, I don't care, I want to do it anyway. Yeah. I know it's not going to do anything, but maybe it'll get the people on my side. Like I'm saying, then it would be something. But as of right now, like we keep going back to, this is just the indictment. There is no evidence being proven. So I don't disagree that it could potentially be a subjective matter. But could it also be subjective, if that's the case, that on the flip side, he does know, and he knows that if he keeps telling you and me that I didn't know, that I didn't lie, I didn't this, that because of how much influence he does have, that his narrative, the public opinion, like he's pushing his. Like, do you agree that both could be true? There could be subjective nature in either one of them.
No, I don't believe that, because there's people that say I'm not.
I'm trying.
Especially,
I'm trying, folks. I'm trying to balance. I get you. Scales. I'm trying to balance the scales.
You can't, because it don't make no sense.
None of us are God, but you know it ain't working. You know it ain't working.
All right, there's some people, right? Especially in the Tate case. There's women saying I'm not a victim, but there's people saying no, you are a victim. You know you a victim. You know you a victim. I'm not a victim. No, you are a victim, and I'm gonna put you on this case saying that they're one of the witnesses. You're a victim, and they keep coming out saying I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim of anything. There's people saying you knew after all these cases saying that, hey, I'm not going to investigate because there's no reason. You knew because it said they're not going to investigate. So there you go. You knew. But he said, no, I'm gonna keep trying because I know that for a fact that there was some fraudulent stuff here. Just because you choose not to investigate does not prove you right. Does not prove you right. Just like Jeffrey Epstein, the flight list. What about those people that he trafficked the kids to? No, we're not going to investigate that. That don't mean that nobody was. That doesn't mean that it didn't exist. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. We could keep playing this game, going back and forth about
what happened. They investigated that because he died.
Because too many people involved. There's so many.
Oh, I thought his wife. I thought his wife was in court about that.
It wasn't his wife, but yeah, I mean, she's in jail. She already got sentenced.
Okay, so what are we doing? So I mean, okay, whatever. Keep going.
What I'm saying is this: it ain't no what are we doing. They don't care. They don't care about that. They're not going to do it because
they don't care, and somebody that's closest to it is in jail.
No,
like, I'm saying you make these grand statements how like they don't, they never, they always, but then you can point to okay, well, yeah, but still, no, it's like, come on.
Okay, it's like getting a drug dealer. It's like getting the little man, the little drug dealer, but you're not getting the big dog who's buying these kids. Who's the people buying them? Who?
Right.
They don't care about that because
in your example, that's not the big dog. The person that's buying them is not the big dog. The person that's selling them is the big dog. And so if she was more along with him in organizing all this stuff and getting people to come and buy in, she's closer to the big dog than them.
No, know why? Because that's not the only person doing it. That's just one. They got a whole network of people doing this that's involved. Big, whatever. You can look it up. What I'm saying is this. Bro. To get back to the whole thing.
Yeah.
I kind of lost my train of thought. So basically, what I'm saying is that Trump tried to get the guy to take
you
the
were
case.
talking about how when stuff is over, like they never talk about it, they don't want to talk about it anymore. And what about these things? And these people should be too. And
no, what I'm saying is this: when it comes to that 4, right? There's fraudulent activity. He has every right to investigate. Now, to prove that he knew for sure that this was false, is totally you can't prove that. You could say, hey, they threw out the case, so it's false. Look, he knew that they threw out the case, so why didn't he concede and say it's false? Because he could truly believe that no, they didn't investigate it the right way because they were doing audits, but they weren't doing the specific audit he was asking for. I'm not asking you to do a recount. I'm asking you to do a forensic audit. I need a forensic audit. Oh, well, no, we can't. We're not doing that. We already gave you your recount. That's enough. See, look, we gave you a recount. But people that's outside of this voting stuff that don't really pay attention to it is like, bro, come on, they already investigated. What are you talking about? Shut up. Is that fair? Because you say that these people really truly believe that they crazy and they don't know what's going on. We asked for a forensic audit. We were very clear what we wanted. You said, no, I'm giving you a recount. We don't want you to recount the same thing you got. I want you to look into the ones you got.
Okay, so I'm looking at Texas launches forensic audit of 2020 election. So I'm not going to sit here because we're about to close and try to find enough of them, but this is, I guess, kind of the point that I wanted to make is that when you say this is what we want, why won't y'all do it? It turns into the situation where if I can prove or if I can show that they did it, then what? Well, they didn't do it again, or they didn't keep doing it, they didn't do it. They didn't do it right, or they didn't. No, it's just like
they did it in Texas. We asked for Arizona, specifically Arizona. See, no, when we say that there's fraud, people are being very specific where it happened at. They're not talking about Texas. Some of Texas it did happen at, but we asked for a forensic audit in Arizona. We didn't get it. We asked for a forensic audit in I think it was Wisconsin. Didn't get it. We asked for it in several places that it didn't happen. In Georgia as well. Didn't happen.
And so I am not by any means defending them because I really didn't hear about that specific. I didn't hear a specific type of audit. So that's why I'm looking it up now. But again, is it possible if you consider more than just the narrow thought of this is what we want, and you consider resources, you consider manpower, you consider cost, connected to certain things, you consider resources available and the time, of when things need to happen. If you consider other things and you're a little more elaborate in thought, is there a possibility that just the same exact way that whether it be someone that pulled you over because registration was bad and they're talking to you, but then they get a call about armed robbery in progress and they leave you because they look at it like it's what I'm dealing with you is not worth the effort because I kind of know, or I already know what this is. They could be wrong. You can have 3 kids in the back for all they know, but to their best assumption, this other thing is more urgent. Or the same way that they bring in some local drug dealer, and by the time they get done talking with them or whatever, they're just like, it's just not worth it. Like, we don't have enough on this guy. Even if he's been doing crazy stuff, we just don't have enough on him. We know if we take him to court, he's going to beat it again. Just let him go. So is there a possibility that once they weighed out the options of not only we already did this type of audit, but now you want us to go back and then do a different type of, like,
All right. So when you
Is
say
there
that,
a possibility? That's all I'm asking, bro.
okay,
Is there a possibility? And I'm saying this real quick because I don't know the difference in like the reality of the difference in those two things. I don't know historically when someone does a recount audit and then they do a forensic audit, historically there's only been a 1 to 6% difference. And if they're looking at, well, if you look at our numbers for the counts, even if it was a complete 6%, even if it was bigger than that, it almost have to be a 40% difference. And they're like, it's not going to change that much. Do you know that to be the case? And is that a possibility that that's how they looked at it?
no, I don't know that to be the case. And no, it's not a possibility because when they asked for an audit, we were very specific of which one we wanted. They said we're gonna do a recount. It's a difference when you say, I want that type of audit. Oh, no, I didn't find what I want. Give me that audit. No, we literally told you before you start auditing, do this one. You said, no, I'm going to do the one I want to do. It's that simple.
And why did they do that in Arizona? Arizona is very much, I was just out there. I was just in Lake Havasu. And it is Trump nation. So that's my point. Like, what is their reason? It's their
because
guy.
Democrats won in Arizona, and it's a lie. Democrats won in Arizona again. This is why. And people came out that was in the voting areas. Look up Carrie Lake. Look what happened to her. Look what happened to her government run. All I'm saying is this. A lot of fraudulent stuff happened there. They set up, especially in Arizona, they set up in Maricopa County legislative hearings. They talked about voter fraud and what they experienced. They said, hey, if you really want to find out about it, do a forensic audit. No, we're not going to do a forensic audit. We're going to do a recount. I don't want you to recount the same fucking votes you got before. I don't care about that. I said forensic audit. Well, we did a recount. That's enough. That's it. I'm done. It's not worth it. It is worth it because legally, Americans are obligated, right? We're legally obligated to say, hey, if I don't fill this election, I have the right to say, do a forensic audit. That's what I want. That's the way I'm gonna feel comfortable about it because for us to be a sovereign nation, our votes is detrimental to that. If that's the case, we dying for votes. We dying for it. So, of course, it's not just any little thing you can throw out like that. No, I want to know if my vote really counts it because I'm dying for it overseas. You tell me my vote matters. That's why it's very important to us. We not letting that go. No, it's not fair.
So we should do we might have to do like a whole voting thing when we're done. And I say that I'm not again, bro. I'm not saying you're wrong. You could be spot on, but I'm also not saying that other people are wrong, which it sounds like you're saying more of. And so you kind of like what this thing is talking about. You have a more severe distrust for everybody. I have a distrust except for except for somebody. But I have a distrust as well, but mine is more an inquisitive distrust more than an accusational mistrust. And so I think that bears our difference. So the reason I said have a whole voting episode is because I actually read and saw times where they did recounts and it actually went in Trump's favor. But no one wants to talk about that, and that has to be wrong. If they do an audit and it swings to Trump's favor and he still loses, well then that's not right. If that same exact audit, if they had said, "Whoa, we did do a recount," and it did when I was saying favor Trump, I meant anyway, and the recount showed that there were fraudulent votes that favored Biden, it would be like, see. Like it would hold all this weight if it went one way, but the times I've heard about it, because I've heard a few states, few counties where they did it, and they're like, oh yeah, they did kind of mess up. It wasn't enough to change anything, but Trump actually did get more than what they said. Biden might have gotten some as well. Like it wasn't as one-sided as you might depict. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying maybe that's a whole nother series that we do because there's a lot of information needs to be out. I'm gonna be real quick with this. All right.
This is why people are not excited about it coming in Trump's favor a recount. We don't care about the recount. We're trying to prove fraud. We're not caring about, oh, he won 3 extra votes. We don't care about that. That's why we don't. That's why we're not saying, "Oh my God, thank you." We don't care. We want to get to the point, right to the greasiness. We saying that this happened, right? And the legislators, we talking to them. Hey, this happened. How do we find out?
Get on your mic. Get on your mic.
All right. So we talking to the legislators. We saying that this happened, right? And then people outside of the legislators saying, so how can we prove that what you're saying happened? Do a forensic audit. Nah, I'm gonna do recount. Oh, Trump won 3 little extra votes. We never gave a fuck about that. We never cared. We cared about the forensic audit.
No. But I'm not saying you don't care about the forensic audit. I'm not saying that. Like I said, I didn't know anything about it. But Trump definitely cared about the votes. Trump definitely wanted to see if he got more votes. Trump consistently talked about that they saw people taking votes that were for Trump and just throwing them out. It was about the votes too. Don't take the votes away.
It's the truth. Okay,
we're not. So it's what he doesn't care about. He didn't care about.
We don't care.
3.
No, I never said
3,000. He cared.
Jay, I never said that he cared about it. I'm talking about the American people. If I voted, I want to know my vote count. Fuck Trump. Was it voter fraud or not? That's all I care about. We don't care if we get 3 extra votes. Fine. Good. Who cares? Get that forensic audit done. I'm a constituent. You want me to follow your rules. If you're telling me you breaking the law just because you want somebody to win, then it's lawless. What am I following the laws for if you're going to break them? That's what we trying to figure out. And this is how we going to figure it out. We want the forensic audit. We don't care about the recount. We don't care about the little extra votes Trump get. I don't care if Trump happy about them 3 votes. I want to know if my vote counted. How do I find out my vote counted? Forensic audit. Do a forensic audit. Oh, I can't do that. You telling me that I'm a constituent. I choose to follow the government rules, right? Big brother, right? You represent me. You telling me you ain't gonna do what I told you to do? And then come out and then come out on the mass media and say, oh, we did everything we could. We already looked it up. No, you didn't. You didn't do what we told you to do. What are you lying for? But average people who don't give a crap about Trump or anything, well, they already did a recount. What? Stop playing with people. Stop. That's not what we wanted. We were very specific about what we wanted. You didn't give it to us. What was the reason? Because these people came out the woodworks, right? From their job. They lived in different areas of Arizona. They came out and spoke out against certain things. They want to figure out and they swore under oath that this has happened under the pretense of perjury. So if they came out the woodworks and said this every day, average Americans, workers, came out and spoke about that, why you couldn't give them a forensic audit and see if they was lying or not? Because you let to put people in jail, so why you couldn't put them in jail if they lied? They didn't even contest it. They didn't contest it. It was never a thing. Okay, yeah, well, all these people swore under oath what happened, but yeah, they lying. Okay, if they were lying, they would be in jail right now. You didn't even contest it. It's like literally if you say a person was like saying, Jeffrey Epstein was a rapist. If you were lying against him, he has the right to sue you. But if he doesn't sue you, what that tell you? The answer right there in your face.
All right, and just for everybody, I wanted to pull up what a forensic audit is, just because it's my first time hearing about it. And I know especially my guy always says, look it up. So I figured, okay, before we close out, we'll look it up just so we all know what it is in case anybody out there is like me and just an idiot and doesn't understand or whatever you call me. I'm just on a hamster wheel or, all those things. What is a forensic audit? A forensic audit examines and evaluates a firm's or individual's financial records to derive evidence used in a court of law or proceeding. Forensic auditing is a specialization within accounting, and most large accounting firms have a forensic auditing department. Forensic audits require accounting and auditing procedures and expert knowledge about the legal framework and such an audit. Okay, so this sounds more financial. So what should I put in? Like voting?
Yeah, voting forensic audit. Something like that. Yeah.
Voting forensic analysis. Is that it? Forensic analysis.
I think so.
Election forensics you can see that, right?
Yep.
Election forensics can use various approaches. Methods include testing for correlation between vote share of a party and turnout to detect ballot stuffing, or 2, checking whether votes received for candidates obey Benford's law. Does that sound like what you're talking about?
Yeah, a little bit of it.
To election forensics. Okay, maybe I'll dig and try to find a good document about it, because I do want to make sure we're always on the same page. Because since I don't know it, I can't really speak to. Not that there is a reason, especially not a good reason of why they said they're not going to do it. But I know, to simplify it for me without understanding it, is like you and I, we're good at low voltage, right? We know low voltage. We can test anything, we know it. So if you and I run a test, we run a data line, 150 feet, terminated on both sides, patch panel on one side, faceplate on another. We use our tester and test fine, successful, everything is good. If someone comes and says, yeah, but I don't know if it's actually going to work, and you go to Best Buy, buy a laptop, come back, plug the laptop into that jack to show me it works, you and I are like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, it works. Trust me. Trust me. I got it. So I'm not saying that that's appropriate in, certifying an election by far. But I'm saying in the simplistic terms, it makes me want to understand how and why someone would just say no. You see what I mean? Like, is it exactly what you're saying? And it's just completely fraudulent, and it was against the will of all the state of Arizona, because the Democrats just stood in front of the whole state, and it's everything that you're saying. That I'm saying that is a possibility. I agree that is a possibility. I am also
okay. So Jay, one little, I'm gonna get a little bit in there. Just a little bit. They're not supposed to say no. They don't have a right to say no. Just do it. You don't have a right.
You told me that about the president, and we found out that. I'm just saying I can't take your word for it. It sound what you're saying sounds right. I'm not saying that. What you're saying, I'm leaning towards you. Let me say it that way. I'm leaning towards you. I think that what you're saying sounds right. I am just a person that likes to trust but verify. That's it. So I trust your information. I just need to verify it.
Okay.
Fair?
That's fair.
All right, my guy. This has been another good one. For anybody that, I guess in the beginning I might have made some grand claims that we were going to read the entire indictment, that's my apologies. I should have known. But hopefully you get a chance to hear the passion, the love, and the desire to try to get to truth between me and this guy. And the fact that he's been on this show 3 times now, and we're already planning future episodes, and the fact that I still go at him head to head with so many topics, it should tell you that there's always space for good conversation. There's always room for it. Always. Just, open your mind, open your heart, try to talk to somebody that don't see things like you. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Again, follow my guy on YouTube at SouthCentral Conservative. Please check him out. Whether you agree with his viewpoints or not, it is still, let's keep the conversation going, right? Pod is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
Pod is good.
This has been episode 21. Your new best friend, Kashmir, California. My guy, SouthCentral Conservative. We will catch you on the next episode. Peace. Always great.